attorney is walking in.
How you doing?
We got an agenda today.
Good morning, Jack. How are you?
All right. Hey, Jack.
Thanks.
All right. We do have a quorum, and so we will call this meeting of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen for the City of Natchez to order. I would like to ask everyone to please stand for our prayer, to be followed by our pledge. And giving our prayer today, I call him the city's chaplain. We just love you, Reverend Marvel. And so Reverend Clifton Marvel of Macedonia Missionary Baptist Church will provide our prayer today.
Good morning to the mayor, board, and all present. Let us pray. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved the wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, blind, but now I see. Dear God, our Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, will your children and your people come to you once more to say thank you for blessing us to see another day today, and thank you for bringing us together today for this council meeting. We pray your blessings upon the mayor and the board and the city of Natchez and the whole world. Let peace, love, and harmony prevail today. We thank you for it now in the name of Jesus for hearing and answering our prayer. And everybody said, amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Reverend. Let us now salute the flag and repeat together our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. We will ask the clerk to administer the roll call.
Alderwoman Hall.
Here.
Alderman Frazier. Alderwoman Smith.
Here.
Alderwoman Irving. Alderman Davis. Alderman Maroney.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
And Alderwoman Irving is walking in right now. And also Alderman Davis did want me to apologize, but he is out of town at the moment and unable to attend today's meeting. We are always glad to see Supervisor Ricky Gray. And hello, Supervisor. Good to see you. Always like to recognize our other public officials from within the county when they are here at our meeting. We now will ask for the approval of minutes. Madam Clerk.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have one set of minutes for approval today. It's the June 23rd, 2026 regular meeting.
What's the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
A motion made by Alderwoman Hall and seconded by Alderwoman Irving. Discussion? We will call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item. We will have our visitors. And first on our list is Thelma Newsom, who is the NAACP Build Grant Chair. And there are a couple things that are on the agenda related to requests from the NAACP. So at this time, Ms. Newsom, we're going to recognize you.
Good morning.
Hey, y'all. Good to see you.
It's good to see we didn't have no practice cases out there. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Ms. Newsom, we have recognized you for 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right?
And if I go over, please stand and let me know that I'm too long.
We'll go easy on you.
My name is Thelma Newsom. I'm a member of NAACP, and I'm here to share some information with you about a grant that we wrote a little while ago, which is called the Build Grant. Some time ago, Mayor Gibson put an article in the Natchez Democrat And that article addressed youth crime in our area, not just Natchez, but the area. And he talked about the fact that we have so many problems with youth committing crimes nowadays. Since that article was written, it seems to have gotten even worse. Every time you pick up the paper, every time you turn on the TV, you're hearing about some kind of crimes that have been committed by our youth. So at the beginning of the year, the NAACP was contacted, and we were told that there were some grant opportunities available, and we could do a little grant for $25,000 to address something we felt was needed in our area. So the NAACP decided to address youth crime in the area. In writing the grant, several initiatives were identified to be implemented, beginning with hosting a stakeholders meeting. This was done, and we had really good attendance. At that meeting, one of the main things that came out was for us to brainstorm and see what could we do in order to help decrease the number of crimes being committed by youth in our area. While we didn't come up with, with an answer to that, we did come up with having a task force formed. So the group decided that we would try to get started in doing that. Before we could form a task force, though, we wanted to contact the educational system. We've already contacted the, not the supervisors, but the superintendent and the administrators with the educational system. This is our second group, Mayor and Board of Aldermen, and we will be going to the supervisors and any other entity that we feel might be able to help us. We're going to be asking the sheriff. We're going to be asking for any other legal entities we have that may be interested, but just anybody that will work with us to try to see what can be done. I've always heard that there's strength in numbers. And while we can't do anything on our own, if we put our heads together, we feel that we may be able to come up with some kind of solutions, or at least some kind of things in working order that we can do to help these children. And I say children because I've been in the educational business for so long, I feel like all of them are still children to me. So we've already done a youth engagement activity, and there will be several more. We're planning to do a youth conference. But once we get this task force together, we want you to be a part of whatever it is that we come up with to try to curtail some of the things that are going on. So we're appealing to you today to agree to work with us and assist with that. We're asking if you will let us know who will be a part of the task force, in addition to the mayor, by Friday, August 24th, from your group. And that way we will have names of people, and we can contact those persons who will receive follow-up information, and we will let you know what we will be working on, and hoping that you will be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Newsom, I want to just commend you and the NAACP on this proactive step and what you're doing to make an impact in our community. Also, I was very pleased to be at an organizational meeting that was held a couple months ago, and I believe our police chief also attended. He had just become chief at that point. And so with that said, you can count on us and anyone else on behalf of the city, for sure. Alderwoman Hall?
I'll be glad to hear.
All right.
And you have a copy of the grant and what it entails, along with the little synopsis of the report that I just gave.
Yes.
And since you mentioned the police chief, we certainly would welcome him, because I understand he gave you all some statistics a few weeks ago, and we need information like that may help us to determine what are some of the things that can be done.
Absolutely.
Thank you, and
Thank you,
for
Ms.
allowing
Newsom.
me this opportunity.
Thank you so much. I want to just say, I think we need another 5 minutes for Ms. Arsenault Mathis. I think we've had a little confusion
I can make a
in
motion.
that Ms. Newsom actually was only presenting on behalf of the bill grant. There is another issue that they would like to discuss with the board. And so Alderwoman Irving, if you'll make the motion to allow another 5 minutes. Alderwoman Hall has seconded that motion. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. And so it is a pleasure to see you, Ms. Arsenault Mathis.
Well, thank you, Board.
And
I
we now
appreciate that.
recognize you for your 5 minutes.
I appreciate it. It won't take 5. You have a copy before you, and before I get started, will all the members of the NAACP please stand? Thank you all. I wanted you all to see them. I wanted y'all to recognize them. These are hardworking people, and I appreciate every one of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
As you know, Mrs. Newsom is the chair of our bill grant, and that grew out of the national and the state asked us to identify one issue in our community that we thought would be important and we wanted to work on, and that was in 2025. And we identified crime, and then we went further in 26 when we got this money, when they allowed us to write grants and we were able to get the grant. So even with the next part that I'm fixing to give you, which probably won't take 3 minutes, this could help us be a part of, this could roll into this bill grant. So if you'll look at it, it says the Natchez branch NAACP has received several inquiries concerning the Natchez Youth Center and recreational facilities located at 12 Triumph Lane in Natchez. The Natchez branch NAACP is requesting a PCA property condition assessment of the Natchez Youth Center building, the basketball court, and the spray ground area. The branch is also requesting that plans include areas of the closed Robert Lewis Middle School. That area of land could provide a vast area for recreational activities for youth year-round. Robert Lewis Middle School gym should also be assessed. The branch is in hopes that a collaboration between the City of Natchez, Adams County Board of Supervisors, and the Natchez Adams School District could become a reality in terms of refurbishing the gym, providing air conditioning and heat, and developing additional recreational activities for youth in Natchez and Adams County. The branch would also appreciate the city looking at the impact of family reunions on the economy of Natchez during the summer. And not only the reunions, these class reunions, well, it's all reunions, the families and the class reunions. We're bringing a lot of money coming in here.
Yes, ma'am.
It's rolling. So if we look at, and what this is normally what you look at, heads on beds,
Right.
and restaurants. That's
Right.
why you got that tax up there.
That's right.
And I want to put a period right there because I said it should be up. But Mayor, what we're asking for, you did this once before, and we went together to Jackson, and you did, you were trying to get money for an assessment for the Natchez Opera Fest. Okay, and they wanted a full assessment before you were mayor of that building, and they wanted it. I can tell you what the CPC is, but I don't want to take up that much time. Anyway, if we can get this CPC going, because of these heads and beds and the restaurant uses, which should be up, many citizens and their extended families have utilized the Natchez Youth Center building for reunions. However, the layout of that property and the number of restroom facilities has made it difficult for use for reunions. The branch is also requesting that the PCA analyzes this building and provides detailed system-by-system analysis of the property's physical condition, supported by photographs, cost estimates, and prioritize recommendation. This should provide the City of Natchez and the Natchez Adams community with a snapshot of current conditions and a forward-looking capital planning tool for this establishment. As the City of Natchez prepares the 2026 budget, 2027, the Natchez branch NAACP requests that the city brainstorms around the possibilities of this historical site and includes a complete property condition assessment in the budget, which addresses the areas that the branch has cited this is not an end all, but along with looking at what could be for the youth in Natchez. We believe that sites which provide tennis, soccer, water activities, youth basketball, youth football, any activities in sports, or any recreational activities could help prevent youth crime. With this accumulated information, the Natchez, Mississippi branch NAACP is requesting that the City of Natchez, after you pull all this together, secure funding for all necessary improvements to the facilities discussed. But going back to your plan, if you do with the youth center what you did for Martin, you'll understand what we need over there. And then you can come back to us and let us know. And we would appreciate being for you all to tell us what you found, what we need, and how you can go about getting it repaired.
Yes. Ms.
Mr.
Arcelo
Mayor.
Mathis, my response is to ask for a motion.
So moved.
Do I have, I
To
think
speak, I
Alderwoman
think-
Hall had
Are we
her.
going to address Ms. Mathis?
I
you
would
need a
like
motion
to, I would
before-
like to go ahead and
Okay,
have
so
a motion to follow through with their recommendation.
Second?
I think
Okay.
it's a great recommendation.
Yes.
Alderwoman Irving has made the motion. Alderwoman Hall has seconded the motion. And now Alderwoman Hall, I'm going to recognize you.
Thank you for bringing this up because I've been addressing the conditions of that park for some time. So thank you.
You will. I think if we get the CP, actually get some assessments and then come back and let us know. And if possible, we would love to have some input because people are talking to us.
Certainly.
And we don't want the children have over there having fun in the summer and running home to go to the bathroom. Over there having
water.
fun in the summer, trying to find water to drink. Not having the facility. We want what's better for our community.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you. We are still in the discussion phase. Alderman Frazier, you're recognized.
Let me address two issues. First, I would like to say, the NAACP has been diligent working, holding meetings at these apartment complexes and trying to reach out to these people that stay in these apartment complexes. And they've been dealing with a lot of stuff. And I just want to, as a member of the NAACP, I just want to commend the president and all the members. Y'all doing an excellent job holding these meetings, trying to get the community together and stuff. I just want to say, my second issue is, let me just say this. I was not in favor of the youth center being done over. I'm just being honest with you. I was in favor of, it could have stood or it could have built. I was in favor of building a brand new complex over there. We could have did that. But like I say, what's done is done. But that facility over there has been neglected for the last 50 years. And no one has been doing anything. We still got wooden, I got pictures here. It's just a mess over there. Now, I'm just being honest with you. We need to do something about recreation on the north side of town because everyone on the north side of town cannot go to Duncan Park, those other parks, because it's too far away. And the kids riding bicycles and stuff, they're in danger of getting run over trying to go out there. But this park, and I'm like I said again, I was in favor of just tear it down, building a nice complex over there. We could have had everything over there. And like you say, like all the women said, former other women said, that over at the high school, it looked like a jungle over there. They got a baseball field over there.
Right.
You don't even know if it's a baseball field because Poison Ivy took the fence over where you play baseball. We don't want to look at Ms. Hall, like I say, me and her, but she is exactly right on everything that she said. That place is in shambles. The basketball goal's been up there, and I'm quite sure Supervisor Gray can attest to this. Those basketball goals, like they've been up there 50 years or more. Me and Supervisor Gray done played basketball over them goals, and there ain't nothing changed. So, like I say, we need to do something over there for recreation because there's nothing in the community for these kids to do. That's why they out here ripping and running, huddling over different places, parking lots, because they don't have nothing to do. And not only the community, we need to start providing stuff, and this is a tourist town. We need to provide stuff whereby when people come here, in order for the people to come here, the first thing they're gonna do, if they bring their kids with them, they wanna know where the recreation is, what you gonna do for the kids, where can their kids go? Can they go to a water park? Do y'all have this? No, we don't have none of that. So I'm gonna say this to the board, we're gonna work diligently, try to get these parks in shape, not just North Neck, Duncan Park, the other parks on the side of town, all on St. Castle Street. We got to do better. We got to do better as a community, and we got to do better as a board. Not only this board, the board of supervisors too.
Thank you, Alderman Frazier. Alderwoman
I'd
Hall.
just like to add one more thing. The youth center building itself now is a Mississippi landmark. So that should help with this assessment moving forward.
Thank you. Thank you. Any further discussion? We'll call-
Mr. Mayor, I just
Yes,
want to say, I agree
Alderwoman.
with everything that has been said with Mrs. Newsom, President Mathis of NAACP. It is so much needed.
because I had received several calls after we had a bloody weekend for the 4th of July. Lots of constituents have expressed their concerns and saying that it's just too quiet. We hadn't had any conversation. Not one group has met. And I said, well, today we go to our board meeting. And here we are with this presentation from NAACP with a solution or solutions coming together to find solutions to do what? To be able to solve the crime that we have here. And then that's it right now.
I agree.
Present the rest with my report.
All right. Well, I want to make sure we restate the motion. The motion is to pursue the recommendations made in the letter from President Mathis.
Yes.
To start with the analysis, the facilities report for the entire park. And I just, is there any question on what the motion is?
No.
All right, so we're ready to vote. I'll call for, yes, Alderwoman Hall.
Now, the Robert Middle School is still, I think, county or school property. It's not city property.
Right,
So-
I understand that.
Right.
That's why I said maybe at some point you all could get a collaboration.
Yes.
As you do on other things.
Mhm.
Yes.
Like the pool was a collaboration.
Yes.
And I think you did a collaboration on, the job force workforce.
Mhm.
Y'all don't have to-
MOU.
We-
Yeah,
Okay.
MOU.
Just wanted to make sure.
Collaboration on the airport. Y'all-
Yes,
Man, you can
MOU.
look there from the county. I don't know why they didn't show your picture out there. That was happening at airports in the county. But you collaborated.
That's right.
And pull those monies together.
That's right.
Super.
You know who can pull that money from.
Supervisor Gray and I have a friendship. I want to also say this. We actually did meet with the school board officials last year on collaboration ideas between the city and the school board on this very topic. And so I'm excited that we can move forward, and we'll do all we can to bring the school board along with these plans and asking them to also assist. And I know they'll be happy to. Now, the question, we'll call the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate your love for Natchez and your passion for Natchez. I also just want to say a special thank you to everyone who was involved in our weekend that we just celebrated, commemorating July 13th. Yesterday was a very historic day in Natchez, being that it was on July 13th, 1863, when freedom actually arrived here in Natchez, thanks to the Emancipation Proclamation finally being enforced here. We had quite a few events throughout the weekend, starting on Friday evening, Saturday, Sunday, and culminated yesterday morning with the presentation of a proclamation for July 13th. And Reverend Marvel, thank you for being there yesterday to lead us in prayer, and those, Alderwoman Hall, and those others who were there. Ms. Newsom, you were there. It's been a wonderful weekend to understand this is Freedom Summer, time that we commemorate Juneteenth, we commemorate July 4th, and we had a fantastic celebration on our bluff for our 250th birthday as a nation, and then also July 13th. So important to remember all of our history. We'll now move on. I don't know if Mr. Clark is here.
He's
yet.
here.
Is he here?
He's
There
here.
he is. Mr. Clark, you're on the agenda. You're requesting approval of a taxi service application and also approval to advertise for a public hearing, as our ordinance requires for a taxi service. And so we're recognizing you for 5 minutes, and then the board will take the action that we need to take.
Okay, good morning. I was just
Good
Good morning.
reiterating what you just said. I'm here at the direction of the city planning department to seek approval for a taxi permit.
All right, great. Well, our question is, Madam Clerk, is all of the information, has it been submitted according to our
This is
ordinance?
all done through the police department, the planning department, so they have signed off on it. So my assumption is that yes, it's all in order.
All right. Then we can just take care of this in two motions. First of all, I'd like to have a motion to approve the taxi service application for Stellar Express.
So move.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall and seconded by Alderwoman Irving. Discussion. We will call for the question.
Hall,
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Next, we will set a public hearing. Thank you. Mr. Clark, we appreciate you stepping out to be an entrepreneur and meet a need here in Natchez. And we wish you well. Madam Clerk,
Do we need him for the hearing?
we aren't going to have the hearing now.
I know.
We're going to
but for a
advertise.
set of- yeah.
Madam Clerk, do we have any recommendations for a time for our next hearing?
I have not
Clark.
received a recommendation for
they
that.
are waiting here this morning.
Yeah,
Mr.
we have
Clark,
to-
You may want to stick around, just make sure the date that we set is amenable to your schedule. I would
We
say
wouldn't be able to have
this.
it prior to 15 days from tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
Or, no, I'm sorry, 15 days from Sunday.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Would we be
would have
able to have it at our next board meeting?
Typically, board meetings are held in the evening.
And we'd like to have our
so
public hearings.
That's
in
only
the
14
evenings.
days from today. so
Yeah,
that
no.
would not-
That's
Let
non-time?
it- yeah.
Okay. Well, we can have the public hearing later that week if we need to. I don't want to hold him
That's
up.
back to school. We need to look,
I'm sorry, I'm trying to-
but it will be.
So
it looks like- August 3rd would kind of be what we are looking at as far as making sure that it's advertised in plenty of time.
All right. Let's set that meeting for August 3rd at 5:00 p.m.
5:30, August the 3rd.
At 5:30.
Second.
All right, we
Thank
have a
you.
motion. We have a motion from Alderwoman Hall to set that as a time for the public hearing, 5:30
5:30.
here in this chamber.
Mhm.
And it has been seconded by Alderwoman Irving.
Mhm.
Discussion? We'll call for the question.
And of
We'll
course,
proceed
everybody
to a
will
vote.
be
All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, Mr. Clark, we will get that advertised and we will see you on the 3rd at 5:30. And I don't expect that we'll have a very long hearing. I believe everyone will be in agreement that it's always good to have a new taxi service. All right, thank you. Next, we have Mr. Johnny Lemons. Mr. Lemons, you're recognized for 5 minutes. I do want to give an update. When I was notified last week that you had requested to be on the board agenda, I immediately reached out to our Department of Public Works, and it's my understanding that the tree limbs and debris was removed yesterday.
Correct,
But I understand you have some other issues you'd like to address regarding this area,
right.
and so you're recognized at this time.
Right, Mr. Mayor, the board, at this point, the progress that I see being made on the drainage issue in Ward 4, which is long overdue, 50 years. Because I've lived there for over 50 years. Water has been dumped from the cathedral school, and my home resident was the only resident to be affected by this water. And as far as the tree limbs, the people that were doing the trimming over there, they happened to drop the limbs over in my backyard, and they were pretty much precise to come back on yesterday and clean it up.
Mhm.
Prior to that, as far as this water damage, I've cleaned a fence line behind my house, and it has caused extensive damage to my foundation, which I had presented this case back in 2014, but it went through circuit court. And I had some of the evidence, which is the blueprints through Waycaster, some of the blueprints that showed the drainage should have come to the drainage ditch, which is to the east side of my house, but construction built on the cathedral side is constantly causing damage to water due from coming off the football field, the parking lot. Finally, you guys are making some progress, but the damage is done. And at this point, there's still a problem. It's very depressing for me to have to come out of my back door and see the cathedral school fence line overgrown completely all the way up to the old public works. I see that the city can take code enforcement and you can cite people for their own personal property that's overgrown. I just ask each one of you and this board to take a ride through Purnell Street.
I have.
Take a look. see for your very own eyes.
Right.
I have, as long as my mom and my sister, we have complained to 5 mayors, 5 aldermen. This cry for help has fell on deaf ears and blind eyes 40 years. Now, I just had to take my life savings to go back and redo the foundation, throw away all of my furniture to redo my home because of this water damage and the drainage issue. Now you're making progress. Fine. Looks good. But I'm not satisfied until it's all done. Don't start it and not finish it. And like I said, I come out of my house, I can look, the whole public works, when they moved from where they previously were, just up the street from where I live, to the municipal building out on Devereaux, they have totally neglected it. It looks like a jungle. Snakes. I've killed 5 snakes within the last 4 months. Even the property next door, which I said y'all had code enforcement, dilapidated property, people living, it's grown up. I trimmed it all down, and I have pictures of it. The fence line was clean, a track hole, all the way to the ditch where the drainage is being worked on. I cleaned it. I come out now, it's grown back up. So I ask that these issues be addressed immediately. It's just too long. It took too long for it to happen. Now, I'm going to give you a little credit. I'm going to give you that. You answered my cry. And I guess that was because I was still frustrated. And my mom, my sister, they died fighting for this. I'm the last soldier on the field. I still got my whip above my head. I'm not going to stop until the war is over. Come through Purnell Street, take a good look, and see what I'm talking about. If you find that what I'm saying is true, clean it up. I can never figure out why Cathedral School has not been addressed. Why leave them out of what's going on? When you say city, you have neglected your own property. But you can put these yellow stickers on cars, you can come by and cite people, citizens who, taxpayers for their own personal property. Clean yours up. Sweep around your own front door before you come around mine. Because there's no stone unturned. And I mean, if you go by, I invite each one of you, as these all take a ride through and see what I have to wake up to every morning to go to work. Say, Lord, look at this. But it needs to be done. That's plain, simple, sweet, precise, and to the point. And I appreciate it.
Thank you,
The
Mr.
project that you're working on now looks good.
Thank you.
But it ain't fit. When you finish it, I'm gonna be more than pleased, thrilled.
Thank you, Mr.
Mr.
Lemon.
Lemon.
Thank you very much. Alderwoman Hall is recognized.
You've come to me in the past, and I brought it to the board, and they did cut. So I did answer your call, and you did come to me.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
I've lived there
I understand, but I'm saying I answered you.
over 55 years, and I have never, from all of the mayors,
Mr. Lemon, if you'll come back to the mic.
all of the mayors, Hanksville, Philip West, Armstrong, Middleton, all these mayors, Butch Brown, all these mayors, Mr. George West Sr. was our first alderperson that I remember. And he deceased his wife, Miss Autumn Meeks, handed down to Theodore Bubba, on over to Tony Fields, and now I have Felicia Bridgewater's Urban. Still fighting. Finally, I said it fell on deaf ears and blind. Why did it take this long? I'm broke. That's why I have to get up and go. I took all of I had a business called Lemon Delight Car Wash. I strived, I worked hard. I had to take all of my money with the same cry to repair a home for damage that's being done from somebody else dumping water on my property. I was a sole individual that had the damage because I was at the end of the line,
Yes.
I'm so
at the
sorry.
bottom of the hill.
That's
Mr.
You know,
right.
that
Lemon,
hurt.
That's right.
It
I-
sucks. It really sucks.
I'm very glad at least
And I have become
we're getting the
part of law
drainage
enforcement,
project
And
done.
I thank God for the opportunity to be a part of law enforcement. And when I heard the cry about the crying for
Yes.
these people. Right now, City of Natchez, wake up, smell what's cooking. Come on through and take a look.
Yeah.
Fix it, it's broke, it's still broke over there.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Lemon. Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you. Alderwoman Irving?
Mr. Lemon, I just want to say, since I've gotten on in 2016, we've had constant communication and we've gotten it done. We've heard your plea, but I want to say when we had the opportunity to have the $3.4 million opera funds, that was where we went and looked at drainage and we were beginning to be able to address. And that was one of the areas we looked at. I brought it to the mayor's attention. First opportunity we get, your property will be addressed. And it's there. We're at that point now.
Roll it, Irving, Jack, Dallas, all of it. Take a little time out of your busy schedule.
I've been there.
And ride through where I live, and you can see what I have to wake up to each and every day.
I understand.
Thank you, Mr. Lemon.
It's not.
Thank you.
Sometimes I feel like I'm going to
Uh-huh.
Mr. Lemon,
Oh, yeah.
thank you.
Thanks a lot.
God bless you. Now we will move to city business.
right now.
We are so grateful to have our consultant, Trey Hess with PPM Consultants to deliver some good news regarding the Fry Building.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So this has been a long time coming and wanted to give you an update and then also some recommendations on the Fry Building. So bids were solicited from qualified contractors for the Fry Building site for the asbestos abatement, demolition, limited soil removal and soil and site restoration project. It was solicited on a stipulated sum basis with a base bid and 2 add alternatives. And the base bid was for the asbestos abatement because this is an EPA cleanup grant first and foremost. Alternate 1 was for the demolition of the Fry Building and removal of the building slabs and foundation. Alternate 2 was the demolition of the adjoining parking lot, some limited soil removal because there's a little bit of petroleum contamination from an old gas station way back in the day there. And then an interim gravel site restoration, putting in some limestone there while you guys coordinate the rest of the parking lot. We had 3 bids. They were received and read aloud on July 8th. The first one was Environmental Abatement, Inc. Base bid was $351,000. Alternate 1 was $195,000. Alternate 2 was $199,000 for a total of $745,000. Southern Recycling and Demolition, base bid was $499,000. Alternate number 1 was $340,000. Alternate 2, $120,000 for a total of $959,000. And then Snyder Environmental and Construction had a base bid of $520,000, $279,000, $185,000 for alternate 2, and a total for $984,000. So PPM and the staff have reviewed the bids received for that project. 3 bids were received based on the bid amounts read aloud in our review of the submitted bid packages. Environmental Abatement, Inc. submitted the low bid for the base bid plus alternate 1 and alternate 2 for the total amount of $745,000. We therefore PPM and the staff recommends that the City of Natchez award the base bid, alternate 1 and alternate 2 to Environmental Abatement, subject to final confirmation of bidder responsiveness, required bonds, insurance certificates, and other post-award contract requirements.
All right. A motion has been made by Alderwoman Smith, seconded by Alderwoman Hall. Discussion.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Alderwoman Hall.
Mr. Attorney, have you reviewed these?
No, we have not.
The motion included on approval with the attorney?
We certainly have in here as one of the recommendations that I put in there was that final confirmation of bidder responsiveness, require bonds, insurance, certifications, and post-award contract requirements. So I believe that captures that piece, if that's
Well,
Right.
I'd like the report to be spelled out with the attorney's approval.
Yes.
That's what I'm-
Okay. I think it can be spelled out in the motion. Is that fine, Alderwoman?
Yeah, there were
Yeah.
multiple things that you
Mhm.
spelled out in the motion. Do you want to go back over those? So
Um,
everybody understands?
Well, we had everything was done base bid, bidding was done according to requirements. We had the bids received, read aloud. The clerk was there at the time. PPM was there as well. Staff was there as well. This was a low bid with stipulated sum. We will be using
The
the
pending items you mentioned though, the pending things.
Sure,
Yes,
absolutely.
that's what I meant.
Subject to
Thank
final
you.
confirmation of bidder responsiveness, required bonds, insurance, certification, and other post-award contract requirements. I think that captures that. With approval by,
Just adding.
for the legal,
including
with the attorney.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
that
have a
has been
question.
I
added.
do too.
We're good. All right, further discussion?
Yes, I have one.
Yes, Alderman Frazier.
First, this company is located out of Hendersonville, Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where are they in the process, once they start tearing the building down? Where are they hauling this stuff to?
So they have identified as part of our bid documents, because I'm a former regulator, I want to make sure they take it not somewhere besides the Mississippi River. So waste management's where the solid waste will be disposed of, and they will give us manifest, because this is an EPA cleanup requirement, that they do that and dispose of that accordingly.
First, we might have an issue with where you gonna dump this stuff. If you dump it in Adams County, look like our citizens need to be knowing, because a lot of this stuff is, as they stated, toxic, because that's why they got the environmental. We need to know exactly where they're gonna be dumping this stuff. Also, my other question to you, are these companies gonna be using local people? Are they bringing their own people? Are they contracting it out to local people? Because we do have some peoples in the
Great question. So that we also wanted to be sure to, so not only are they going to a municipal solid waste landfill that is permitted by DEQ that will only accept this waste, we will make sure that those manifests will be there. We'll have somebody on site to make sure it doesn't go off in the county and dump somewhere where Ricky's got to deal with it. All right. And then also, but we do have there that Bluff City Equipment is one of the local contractors that's going to be doing some of that work, as well as Terrace River Services, Inc.
Okay,
So-
here's my other question. I understand the contract, but I'm also concerned, okay, you're gonna have all these other Bluff City Equipment. Are they out of Natchez?
I have not verified that.
I'm interested in, if we're gonna be hauling stuff, like we have people around here who do have business that can haul it, and local contractors. I'd like to get some local contractors.
Absolutely.
When you're tearing this building down to haul some stuff out, because I already have some inquiries from some of the black contractors who asked, who's gonna be hauling this stuff up. I told them, I really don't know. But we do need to see about letting some of our local people get in on this.
So when we, just for clarification, so when we put this out for bid, we also had about 35 people show up on site during that bid notification, of which there were a whole lot of local contractors there. So they are aware of it, we're aware of it, and obviously we're going to make sure that this is done in the right way in terms of environmental concern.
Okay, could you get me something, the dates or something, because when somebody come ask me about when are you gonna start tearing down, I have a dump truck, can I get in on this? I need to know who to get in contact with, so these people can get in on it.
Absolutely, and just so everybody knows, the draft schedule,
Okay.
hold to the full schedule, but the draft schedule is to start August 3rd. Abatement will be 33 days, building demo about 20 days. You gotta remember rain and all that kind of stuff you gotta deal with. Backfill, parking lot demo is about 5 days, backfill and limestone about 10 days, with the goal of about mid-October to be done with all this. So we've even evaluated making sure we got the holidays coming up. We're gonna be looking to block off the building area and the road there, coordinating all that with the city and everything else. But yes, sir, I will get you that information.
Just give me
Yes.
let me get the number of the people who's gonna be doing the hiring, whatever, so
Absolutely.
I can pass it on to some of my constituents or anybody else in the county
I
who
will
wanna get in on it.
I will send you an email in about 45 minutes.
Okay,
That's great.
thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Any further discussion?
No.
I want to say I'm just very grateful, because we have come in way below what we were anticipating. And the good news there is that if all goes well, we may not have to incur any indebtedness on this project. It also is perfect timing for proceeding, we hope, with the restoration of the old hotel after this parking after this area is torn down, and we can use it as a parking area and staging area for the restoration project. This is all part of one big strategy. It's taken a while, but good things come to those who wait. I'll,
Mr. Mayor, I did have a question.
Alderwoman
Again,
Irving.
and I think you may have stated, but what was the landfill that they're taking it to?
The waste management landfill.
Waste management.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that 61 South or?
I believe so.
Okay, it's just a concern because you're
Yeah.
looking at water, we're
Well,
dealing with asbestos. We know that dissipates in the atmosphere, so
and we will have somebody, just for concern, we have somebody there who's actually going to be air monitoring during all of this, who has been doing it for 35 years and works for me. And we're going to make sure that that's all done right
in the safe.
and the safe way on that as well. And just keep in mind, this is an EPA grant. So not only do you have my colleagues, former colleagues at DEQ, Environmental Agency, you got EPA, and they've got everything under the sun in terms of requirements on all that. Plus, I'm a Boy Scout, so if they decide to go dump it somewhere else, there's a problem, and I don't expect that at all. Yes.
All right.
I have one more
Yes,
question.
Alderman Frazier.
The other concern, and it just came to me, the other concern is that when they start tearing down this building, is this dust gonna be settled? I'm concerned about the peoples over there at the call center and the peoples downtown, because we have a lot of business downtown. When they start tearing this stuff down, this stuff gonna get in the air, and you got peoples who have restaurants all around town.
So what we do is we actually have in the bid specs, dust suppression requirements. So they're going to be wetting some of that. They're also going to be making sure that, that there's air monitoring that's going on that. So, Mr. Frazier, I've got a bid document that's about this thick.
I know you've been doing it a long time.
Yeah, but we're going, I mean, we've been there, done that. So we're going to make sure that they do it. Plus, that's our job. Our job is to ensure, protect of human health and safety. And then also that they're doing it the right way.
I know you're gonna do it right. If I call Mr. King out of EPA,
Yeah.
you don't know Mr. King.
I know
Okay.
Charles.
Okay.
I also want to just make sure everyone understands, we were successful in getting a $1.2 million grant through the EPA for the express purpose of getting this done safely. The abatement of asbestos will all be done during that first month. The asbestos will be abated before the building comes down.
That's exactly right.
And
then
we're very grateful for your expertise. I'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
Thank
you. Mr. Hess, thank you. Next item we have is Mr. Carter Burns, along with Liz D'Antone and Amelia Salmon, to discuss the shelter house. And then, Mr. Burns, I think you have some other items that you will be bringing before us. It's good to see you. Ms.
Thank you.
D'Antone, you're recognized.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor and Board of Alderpersons.
Good morning.
My name is Liz D'Antone, and I serve on the board of directors of the Natchez City Cemetery. I came to you about a year ago and shared the interest of the board in pursuing an architectural assessment of the office building at the cemetery, which we call the shelter house, and the old maintenance barn, which is a green wooden building. A grant proposal to Mississippi Department of Archives and History was prepared, but because the city owns the building, the city had to be the applicant and recipient of the grant. You approved the grant application and the professional work began. This is a certified local government grant. I see you have several more that you're considering with Carter after I and Amelia make a presentation. This CLG grant allowed for a 50-50 match from Mississippi Department of Archives and History. I made it clear then and reiterate today that no dollars will be spent by the city on this project. The 50% match is provided by the cemetery. The total amount of the grant was $10,400. We hired local architect Amelia Salmon and local surveying company JKS to do the work. And we were assisted in the process by Carter Burns, Historic Natchez Foundation. We are here today to present the findings of this architectural analysis and ask you to accept the report. This is a step required by MDAH. Alderwoman Valencia Hall, in whose ward the cemetery is located, has been kept apprised of the progress of this report. I must add here that Amelia Salmon went far above and beyond the requirements of the proposal, and she now knows more about these buildings and their history than anyone else. She dug deep, she researched cemetery board members, and she interviewed men whose memories include important facts about the cemetery. I add that this report is a template for architectural restoration projects of these historic buildings. The cemetery will continue to pursue additional grant funding for the structures, so you will see us again in the future with proposals. Thank you, and now Amelia Salmon.
Thank you. Hello, Ms. Salmon.
Hello. Amelia Salmon, architect. The conditions assessment of the shelter house and barn also allowed me to project and prioritize work to these buildings that the cemetery board may consider as they go forward based upon their anticipated uses. Well, their anticipated uses are likely not to change all that much. The shelter house is essentially the office and visitor center for the cemetery, and the barn is a barn. And recently, in 2024, they built a new barn that facilitates daily work in the cemetery and has nice new bathrooms. But the old barn presents a place for them to store things and also to take on long-term projects. It also is an historic resource in itself, we discovered as I did research. So you have copies of the conditions assessment report. There is a document on 8.5 by 11 with some pictures that, and on the screens, that describes in narrative form the buildings. And then there is a set of drawings on ledger size paper that include both as-built drawings of the buildings and some projected modifications, especially for the shelter house. The conditions assessment, the real problem for both buildings is water. That is water that might be pooling against the foundations of the buildings, and the management of that water and the management of more site water around them in ditches and as runoff continues to the bayou is important. The other considerations for the shelter house, it as a building is in pretty good condition. It has a front porch arbor. It's really not a front porch. It is an arbor, but it acts as the front porch, the entry porch for the space. It has some foundation issues. It also has some accessibility issues. And so for a building that is the main office and visitor center, accessibility is of importance. It is up 3 steps and at least 1 tripper step from some very limited parking. So we identified accessibility as a very important item that will require the cemetery's attention in the future. The building also has very outdated mechanical and electrical systems. Those are 2 issues that would need their attention. So we prioritized site work around the shelter house as the primary focus of the cemetery board's attention in the future. That would include rebuilding the arbor. Likely, with some exploration, we will find that the septic system is not, in fact, a septic system. There's 1 toilet in the building. It is likely that that's going into an old cistern That's some of what we discovered in our interviews with former employees of the cemetery. The electrical comes in overhead. It would better come in underground. So we have those and a ramp and steps to provide handicapped access to the building as the first portion of work that they might grapple with. My report gives some very ballpark and preliminary estimates for that work and breaks out the exterior work from the more paint and plaster oriented work to the building. Preliminary work on exterior portions would be about $217,000 and another roughly $100,000 for work, Division 9 work to the buildings, paint, plaster. The barn is possibly older than the shelter house. We discovered in research in the minutes that the barn, a building that the minutes describe as a warehouse and a storage facility, was built about 2 weeks before the shelter house work commenced from the materials from the demolition project that they undertook to build the shelter house. So the barn, in fact, may be older. It in itself is worthy of preservation as an historic landscape where the work of the cemetery occurred outside outside the sight of those of us who go there for funerals. It's kind of hidden away.
Ms. Allen, that is the old
Alderwoman
barn.
Hall, you're recognized.
That is the old barn. Just clarify.
Yes, that is the old barn, and it is the barn
The original barn.
that I looked at, and that was in full use by the cemetery up until 2024 when they built the new facility. So I present to you this report to use as a resource as you and the cemetery board plan for future developments at the cemetery. And I believe that for the purposes of archives and history, you need only to say, we accept.
I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall and seconded by Alderwoman Smith.
I would like to include in my
Yes, Alderman
motion
Hall.
to allow the cemetery board to proceed with either applying for a CLG grant or for community heritage preservation grant to continue this work.
All right. We do have a motion that we're going to entertain a little bit later
That
here.
doesn't apply to that.
Okay. I mean, I need to ask the question. That would not compete with a grant for NAPAC at this time.
The purpose of
That
their
would be in the
assessment
future.
was so they could proceed with.
Okay, we have not discussed that. We've only discussed a grant for NAPAC. And that's on the agenda today. I will ask Mr. Carter Burns if you would please come forward. My question would be, Alderwoman Hall has asked that the motion include pursuing either a CLG grant or the Community Heritage Preservation Grant. If we were to pursue that grant, would that negate our ability to pursue a grant for the NAPAC roof restoration?
Not just that one.
Yes, I would. The city would only really need to choose one project to submit a grant application for. So whichever project the board would like, but I would recommend only choosing one so that the city's not competing with itself.
Now, one other thing, Alderwoman Hall had made a motion that we pursue the Community Heritage Preservation Grant for an elevator for City Hall, and yet we were about to discuss that in another point here. I must.
May I discuss?
Yes, Alderwoman Hall.
The legislature has approved this for 5 years. There's a backlog. There's a backlog already for these grants.
Yes.
And we still have 5 years to pursue these grants, correct?
Right. Yes, the grant program has been funded for the next 5 years.
Okay, thank you.
Just add it, want to add that.
I would say what we have learned is that the roof at NAPAC is in dire need of replacement and addressing. I did not anticipate the motion. Let's just leave the motion as is right now. All we've been asked to do is to accept the report. Now, if we want to then pursue grants, and that is a grant, we can discuss that. But I was not anticipating that that motion would be made today. Only that the motion would be made regarding NAPAC today.
That's fine.
Okay. All right. So the motion that is on the floor at this moment is to accept the report. And the report is an excellent report. Very well done, Ms. Salmon. Very well done. Do we have any discussion?
Great job. As you
Outstanding
just said, it was a
report.
great job. Great report. I love to read the history of it as well. Everything was so detailed and gave good information. Some of this I already knew, but thank you for sharing this with us.
We will call for the question.
I got a question.
Yes, Alderman Fraser.
The approval for the grant for the, to need improvement with NAPAC building. If we need a roof, how long is it gonna take? We putting this off?
No.
Oh, we have time, but we don't need to wait a year. We need
We
to go
don't
ahead
have
and
time.
apply for that grant.
I don't know if we have time. We got a leaky roof.
Yeah, we've
don't
contained
have-
it, we've managed it, but we're looking ahead.
I'm looking ahead too, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir. For now, though, the discussion is only on the shelter house. We haven't gotten to that part in the agenda. Our motion is to accept the report on the shelter house at this time. Can I, and we will obviously work with you on any grants and funding that we need to pursue for this. Had, you know, I known we were going to go into that discussion. We could have talked about that prior to the meeting, but we didn't know that was going to become a part of the discussion. But right now, the motion is just to accept the report. I will call for the question.
Go.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carries. I want to thank you, Ms. Antone, and thank you, Ms. Salmon. And I want to thank everyone who is involved in Friends of the Cemetery. I see Ms. Holder here and others. I don't know what we'd do without you, maintaining our beautiful cemetery in the management of it, overseeing it. You definitely are always, every day, committing a very important public service to the citizens of our community, and we're very grateful. Mr. Burns, you're recognized next.
Okay. Well, I'm here today to discuss two grant opportunities for the city. Some we've already started discussing a little bit, but one is a CLG grant, which is a certified local government grant from the Department of Archives and History. Very similar, almost exactly the same as the grant that was just completed for the cemetery and the shelter house. But this one would be to take up Alderwoman Hall's idea about planning for an elevator in City Hall, which, you know, it desperately needs that to provide access. So CLG grants are a lower amount of money. Those are typically, the max is about $20,000 to $30,000, and it requires a one-to-one match from the city. But that grant could be used to hire an architect to begin the planning process for an elevator in City Hall, to develop plans, to look at where an elevator might go, and then to develop a cost estimate so that then once all that is completed, then maybe a further grant could be pursued to actually put the elevator in.
So moved.
A motion has been
Second.
made by Alderwoman Hall and seconded by Alderwoman Irving. Discussion?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
This is,
Alderwoman Hall.
something I've been trying to get done for 6 years. So it's time to pursue the opportunity for that
All right, thank you.
in order to comply with ADA.
ADA.
Thank you. Thank you. I will say this. It is our understanding as a historic building, there are some considerations. I don't want anyone to think that we are not in compliance at the current time, Can you help educate us on that, Mr. Burns?
Yes, so there is a ramp on the rear of City Hall, and then anybody who needs services from employees on the second floor, those employees come down and meet them on the first floor. So, the building, all the services in the building are accessible right now, but it would just be, of course, more convenient to have an elevator in the building.
And more fully compliant with federal law. Because yes, employees can come downstairs, but we've had employees who have been physically disabled having to walk upstairs. And it's not fair to those employees.
Thank you. Thank you, Alderwoman. Any further discussion? Yes. Yes,
All the
Alderwoman
questions.
Can I
Smith.
just clarify real quick? Are we talking about three things today, two things? I'm confused on that, this, and then there's the NAPAC. What are our options? I don't fully understand, so I don't want to vote on anything that I don't understand. Are we going to get to do one, two, or?
There are three separate items today. The presentation that was just made by the cemetery, that was to close out a CLG grant
Okay.
that the city got a year or two ago. And so that one is now complete.
Okay.
This would be a new CLG grant to do plans for an elevator. Then there's also the possibility of applying for a CHPG, which is a Community Heritage Preservation Grant for the NAPAC roof, and that would be a
So
separate
these are our two
grant.
goals for now. That could be another goal later.
Yes.
Okay, okay, I'm
Correct.
understanding. Thank you.
All
Yes,
right.
yes.
All the questions.
The question's been called. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Mr. Burns, I understand we are in the cycle to apply for the CHPG grant. What are you recommending? I know we have been discussing the needed improvements at NAPAC.
Right. So I've been, informed by Bobby Dennis and also by Jody Rudder that there's a roof issue at NAPAC. There are leaks and it needs to be addressed. And this building meets all the qualifications for the CHPG grant program. So I do think it would be a good candidate and a good option to apply to have that roof, replaced, repaired, whatever needs to happen through this grant. And the deadline for the grant is October 2nd. And of course, the city's done many of these grants in the past. It's an 80-20 grant. So the city, puts up a 20% match of the total amount of the grant, of the project.
And our work between now and October will be to determine the cost to replace the roof and what our match will be. And we can then present that before we submit the final application. But we need to go ahead and get to work on getting that estimate. And we'll ask Mr. Rudder to go ahead and get that in process. All right. The motion has been made by Alderwoman Hall, seconded by Alderwoman Smith. Discussion?
I just want to
Yes,
say
Alderwoman
that we
Irving.
need to consider the match in the upcoming budget
Because
because
this
we'll
is
be
good
October
timing.
1.
That's right.
Okay.
We will. All right. Any further discussion? We will call for the question. All right. We will now proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Mr.
Thanks.
Burns, thank you so
Yes,
much.
thank
I
you.
thank you, all of you, for all that you do. We appreciate you. Next, we have Elizabeth Greer, Board President for our Downtown Natchez Alliance. And I want to say, Ms. Greer, we just appreciate you, Chesney Doyle, and so many in DNA and Downtown Merchants who were there Sunday, helping to provide for our first responders and firefighters during a very difficult time. And you were right in the thick of all of that volunteer action. Thank you very much.
That's why we're here, right? To help and support one another. Thank you. Good morning, Mayor Gibson. Excuse me. And Board of Aldermen, city officials, I would like to recognize the DNA board members present, including Lori Alice, Sheila Lehrman, and Liz D'Antone, as well as Diane Lusher, our merchant liaison and board advisor. Chesney is currently at a mandatory state meeting in Jackson, attending an MMSRG training for our depot grant. And we look forward to learning more about those logistics and the upcoming projects soon. Before I begin the annual update, I do want to recognize what happened on Main Street this past Sunday. That fire had every possibility of spreading beyond one building and threatened other businesses in our historic downtown. Instead, our city officials, Natchez and Vidalia firefighters, city and county law enforcement, and AMR all worked together to contain that fire and keep our community safe. At the same time, the downtown business owners, residents, and community partners rallied around them with tables full of food, drinks, and whatever was needed. Our agencies answered the call, and our community answered with support. Sunday showed us what partnership looks like in an emergency. Today's annual report to the city demonstrates what that same commitment can accomplish when sustained day after day, project after project, and year after year. I heard a quote recently that has really stuck with me, and it said, "Master the mundane." Long-term success is not usually built through big moments alone. Instead, it is built by consistently doing the ordinary things well. We all enjoy celebrating ribbon cuttings and new businesses and beautiful events and exciting announcements, but each of those moments rests on a great deal of work that most people never see. Behind these events and grants and projects and announcements are applications and contracts and meeting minutes and financial reports, compliance requirements, stacks of files that must be properly maintained. That work will never make a Facebook post or the newspaper headline, but it matters. It protects public and private investment, and it strengthens this organization and all, for the future. And strong organizations create lasting results. Under the leadership of our new executive director, Chesney Doyle, we are strengthening those daily operations while continuing the visible work that is expected of a nationally accredited Main Street organization. I want to share a short text message that Chesney received following last Saturday's Christmas in July sidewalk sales. Sandy Hall, proprietor of One of a Kind gift shop on Main, said, "Miss Chesney, this was One of a Kind's best Christmas in July yet. We more than doubled last year's sales. People were everywhere and not a single dull moment all day. So thankful." And that really says it all. The results are real and the results are visible. Between January of 2025 and June 2026, downtown Natchez welcomed 22 new businesses and 10 business expansions. More than 50 new jobs were created during the first 6 months of this year. Documented private investment exceeded $4.39 million. And documented public investment exceeded $3 million. Volunteers contributed more than 6,000 hours towards downtown revitalization. One of our most visible accomplishments is DNA's Balcony Awning and Facade Incentive Grant Program. Made possible through the ARPA funding provided by Mississippi Main Street through state legislation and with matching funds from local property owners, these have supported improvements at 19 downtown properties, including 29 awnings, 5 facades, and 2 balconies. This DNA-facilitated program has been a true win-win-win for property owners, downtown businesses, and the community, as it also encouraged other property owners to use their own private funds for similar renovations. Funding for the Depot Park at Natchez Bluff has now been finalized. This $362,000 grant, matched with the $90,500 from the city, will transform the grounds around the historic depot with landscaping, seating, a public patio with lawn, and accessible pathways. It will create a welcoming gathering place to strengthen the connection between the bluff and our downtown commercial district. DNA and the city have signed a memorandum of understanding, and we look forward to working with James Johnston and the city to advance this project. Additionally, the city's $24.57 million Forks to Freedom grant project also continues through planning, engineering, public engagement, and project coordination. Recent sessions have given residents opportunities to review the work and offer input. Its many elements will improve the streets, the intersections, pedestrian access, and connections among Forks of the Road, St. Catherine Street, Revels Plaza, and downtown Natchez. Our Downtown Annual Unlocked program continued to partnership with Mississippi State University and the Community Foundation for Mississippi. It brought together property owners, realtors, lenders, contractors, investors, and economic partners to connect vacant and underused buildings with opportunities for investment. We also continued downtown merchant group meetings, shopping promotions, Junking on the River partnerships, downtown beautification, Celebrate the Blooms, the Sally Junkin Ballard Keep Natchez Blooming Award, and the Pumpkin Patch Festival events that bring residents and visitors downtown throughout the year. At the Mississippi Main Street Awards ceremony, we were excited to see Dixon Books named Mississippi's Outstanding New Business. This recognition is another reminder of the quality of the entrepreneurship and the investment happening in downtown Natchez. We are also proud to continue meeting the standards for the Mississippi Main Street and Main Street America. That accreditation confirms that DNA is following the nationally recognized approach built around design, economic vitality, promotion, and organization. This model is the basis of DNA's focus on placemaking and long-term residential living. We are grateful for the city's continued investment and partnership. Combined with grants, sponsorships, business contributions, private donations, and thousands of hours of volunteer service, the city's investment provides the foundation that allows DNA to leverage outside funding, coordinate revitalization projects, support downtown business and property owners, maintain the high standards of the Main Street program, and to bring partners together to move downtown forward. DNA does not exist to own downtown success or to take credit for all of the good things happening here. DNA exists to help create the conditions where success can happen. Our purpose is to set the table where people who care about downtown Natchez can come together to share ideas, to build partnerships that can accomplish more than any of us ever could alone. The city of Natchez has had a seat at that table from the very beginning. Time and again, you have chosen to pull up a chair alongside local business and property owners and volunteers and investments, other nonprofit local groups and organizations, and community partners who all believe in downtown. Your investment, your confidence in Downtown Natchez Alliance, and your willingness to collaborate has helped turn plans into projects and ideas into visible progress. This is how partnerships builds momentum. There is still important work to do. There are exciting opportunities before us. And if Sunday reminded us of anything, it is this: when our community comes together, there is very little that we cannot all accomplish together. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of Board of Aldermen, our city officials, and the dedicated men and women who serve our community every day. Thank you for continuing to pull up a chair. Thank you for your partnership, your confidence, and for believing in what we can all accomplish when we work together. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Greer. Alderwoman Hall.
Thank you, Ms. Greer and DNA, for what you do for the city of Natchez. I'd like to make a motion that we take under advisement their request for $70,000.
Second.
All right. A motion has been made
Second.
and seconded by Alderman Frazier. Discussion?
No.
We'll call for the question.
Called.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Greer. Very good job. And we recognize success, and it truly is happening, and it's happening because of countless volunteer hours and so many of our partners just pitching in together. Thank you. We now will move to our department director's reports. Mr. Johnston is absent today, so our city clerk is going to be presenting his report. Madam Clerk?
Yes. First item on Mr. Johnston's report is the U.S. Colored Troops Monument in Harlem Revels Plaza. through the 2024 Community Project Funding, which is through the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Bids for the above referenced project were received until 10 a.m. on Thursday, June 25th, 2026. A summary of the bids received are as follows. Hope Enterprises LLC, base bid.
Can you read a little bit louder, please?
Hope Enterprises LLC, base bid $638,030. Four Seasons Enterprise LLC, base bid $442,970. Staff, in concert with consulting engineer Neil Schaefer, is requesting a motion to accept the bid of Four Seasons Enterprises LLC totaling $442,970 for this capital improvements project, noting that Neil Schaefer did contact several provided references and received a thumbs up regarding the contractor. Pleasure of the board.
So move.
Motion made by Alderwoman Smith, seconded by Alderwoman Irving. Discussion?
Yes, I have
Yes.
something.
Yes, Alderman Fraser.
I'm looking at this contract, Hope Enterprise Four Seasons. That's why I wish James was here because he'd go in and explain to us a little more better. This Four Seasons, where is this company located out? You don't know?
I don't have those notes.
I'm
do.
told that they are out of Jackson.
Jackson.
I was gonna say, I
Mississippi.
think, yeah, the Jackson area. Metro area.
Yeah.
I appreciate you doing a report, but like I say, I think James should have gave this report to you.
He
Yeah,
couldn't be here.
Yeah, he could not be here.
Okay.
And this is something that we needed to move forward.
Alderwoman Irving.
Thank you. I want to say the company is located out of Jackson, Mississippi, but my concern is this, as Alderman Fraser just shared with the contract earlier, Four Seasons is a minority company. And so what I was hoping that we could do, we know you need a specific because we're constructing monuments. Okay.
Not a monument, a park.
A
The
park.
monument will come later.
Okay. Where the monuments where the
monument
park
will be
is. Okay. And so what I was gonna ask is that could we break that down and get local laborers to be a part of this? Break this contract down.
We went through the required bid process. We have no control over who submits bids.
Well, if we go back and we look at Department of Housing and Urban Development, it says that in that grant, in that grant, I read information pertaining to it that, and this is a minority contractor that we have actually hired because you have to have minority a part of this grant.
Right. But they went through the bid process and submitted their bids, which is legally required to go through that process.
Okay.
And-
All right. Again, local. I mean, it's from
Yes.
Jackson. I understand the process, but we can't. And I've had this conversation with Mr. Johnston. He will, there are instances where the contracts can be broken down. And so that's something that you have to, discuss, I guess, after the bidding process. But that was my concern as well.
I will say this, they always have a meeting to begin the project and to begin planning. Those items can be discussed in that meeting. But yes, there's been a lot of conversation about bidding. We follow the bid laws of Mississippi. If we don't follow those bid laws, each one of us, all of us, could go to jail. Those bid laws are very specific. It is a closed process. There is a bid opening date. It is all advertised publicly. Everyone has an opportunity, same as the other, to bid on these projects. They have to have their licenses. They have to have their bonding, their insurance, and they have to have, their reputable, whatever is required to get the job done. And I find it really odd that we seem unhappy when we get the low bids, because we are dealing with taxpayer money and the bidding process requires that we go with the lowest and best bid. And, lowest is not always best, but in these cases, we are getting a lot of good work done and we are going for bids that make sense for the taxpayer. And I am excited as all get out that we have someone who's come in at this price, with this important project that we can now break ground on this summer. This is actually a time, in my opinion, for us to celebrate. We've been working on this U.S. Colored Troops Monument project, and Mr. Robert Purnell and his committee actually started this in 2020, and to finally be at this point. I was just having a conversation with someone earlier today. The fact that it was in a meeting with Congressman Benny Thompson that we were able to get this earmark moving. It was a bipartisan process. Our representatives, not only in the House, but also the Senate, supported it. We're now able to get it done, and we're coming in under budget, which will allow us to do more things. This is not just the part for the U.S. Colored Troops Monument, which is going to be on the north end of the bluff, selected by a committee with much public input, and it has already been approved. It is a very important piece of ground where the U.S. Colored Troops actually mustered for their morning drills back during the Civil War. That is where this monument will go. But it also involves some very important drainage components needed at Revels Plaza, MLK Triangle, in order to make the Revels Plaza part of our master plan to finally become reality. So I think we should just go ahead and approve the motion so we can move forward in getting both of these projects underway.
Call the question.
The question's been called. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you. Exciting times for Natchez. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Next item is the Canal Street Bridge replacement fiscal year 26 earmark to the Mississippi Department of Transportation. Staff is requesting a motion to advertise and receive request for proposals for engineering service per the local public agency project development manual. Pleasure of the board.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall,
Second.
seconded by Alderwoman Irving. Discussion?
Call the question.
The question's been called. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
Okay. Additionally, staff is requesting a motion to appoint the following people as recommended by Mayor Gibson to the required LPA selection committee. Alderwoman Valencia Hall, City Clerk Megan McKenzie, Public Works Director Justin Dollar, Executive Assistant Richard Burke, and Project Manager James Johnston. Pleasure of the board.
So move.
Motion made by Alderwoman Irving, seconded by Alderman Maroney. Discussion? We'll call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed with the vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Next item is the Mississippi River Bridge Lighting Project. This is through the 2022 and 2026 Mississippi Legislature earmarks. Staff is requesting a motion to approve the professional services agreement with Volkert, Inc. to provide the needed professional services, including preparing construction documents, coordination with the U.S. Coast Guard, obtaining needed permits through the U.S. Coast Guard and through MDOT, assist with preparing bid package, receiving bids, etc., pre-construction conference, construction inspection, review of contractor submittals, and closeout. CE&I fees assume 20 hours per week on a 120 calendar day contract, which will be subcontracted to a local firm. The contract is for an amount not to exceed $69,110. Pleasure of the board.
Pleasure of the board.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Maroney. I will add a little more insight. We have already been meeting with professionals to do further analysis of the wiring on the bridge, already under a previous analysis deemed to be in good condition. We are doing another analysis just to be on the safe side before we actually bid this. Also, it is important that we have engineers bid the project because everything has to be done according to certain standards. This is not an easy task. We're very grateful to the state of Mississippi and our governor and lieutenant governor for their support of the project. We are still waiting on word from the state of Louisiana on their contribution. We will not bid the project until we have their contribution in hand. But this is a necessary step in the process. The money that is mentioned is money left over from a prior appropriation from the state of Mississippi for this project. I don't anticipate that this engineering contract is going to come anywhere near that. But just in the event that you run into unforeseens, other things, that is the number that staff has recommended. Any questions, any further discussion? Alderwoman Hall.
Well, I would like to rephrase my bid to include
Your
contingent upon the
motion.
state of Louisiana. I mean, my motion, that this amount, $69,110 is contingent upon.
In other words, we don't want to proceed with any preparation of the bid until we receive money from Louisiana. I can definitely agree with that. I think that's a very wise amendment to the motion. Is that all right with Alderman? All right. We will have any further discussion?
Yes.
Yes, Alderman Frazier.
The C&E fees assessed for 20 hours a week, 120 calendar days contract. So we're gonna pay them $69,000, $69,000 some dollars to do this, just to get this assessment from the Coast Guard and everything.
It's that's already been done. This is actually preparing the bid documents and all of the inspections necessary from the beginning of the project throughout the duration of the project to the conclusion of the project.
Okay.
And all of the, just as we have to have engineering overseeing any street paving projects and other major projects in our city.
Okay, my next question is, you say we have this money left over from another project. What project we have money?
Another appropriation. We received.
From which appropriation?
We received $500,000 from the Mississippi legislature and the Mississippi Department of Transportation. This was actually in 2023. And we have purchased the lights from that money. We have done the initial design from that money. And these are monies left over. The other appropriation that we just received, we should receive soon, it was approved this spring, is another $500,000. And then we are anticipating another $200,000 to $250,000 from.
So how much do we have in the account, Madam Clerk?
I don't have the exact dollar amount, but there is sufficient funds to cover this
I need to know how much
69,110.
left in that account, because.
I want to say it's like,
Wait a minute, I'm talking about, we anticipate. When you start anticipating, we don't have that money right then and there.
so just to offer a little clarification, the initial funds were approved in an earmark in 2022. We received them in 2023. They are about to sunset. That was the original 500,000. There is less than 100,000 in that account. It is going to soon sunset. They have graciously given us an extension so that we can try to utilize those funds for this portion of the preparation. I have spoken with DFA. We have opened the new bank accounts. They have told me that the MOUs should be received the end of July, beginning of August for the 2026 earmarks, which is the new 500,000, which will then be paired with the money from the state of Louisiana for the actual installation of the project.
Okay. We
Alderwoman.
received $500,000 allocations for this?
Yes, $500,000 that they approved and we received in 2023, and $500,000 that they approved in our spring session of the legislature this year.
I didn't know that either.
Oh, it's been
Not this
reported.
spring.
It's been reported.
I knew we had the 500,000.
I've reported. we made a big point of thanking Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hoseman for his support of this.
500,000, we did, like,
Yeah, we have. This has been in the paper, we've reported on it several times.
Okay.
And that's why we actually have been proceeding with the project. I would say this, in listening to you, Madam Clerk, and the sunset provision on those funds, I think it is important that we go ahead and get the bid documents done now. The rest, of course, when we bid it, there will be no engineering services until the project we have the services up front in preparing the bid documents, managing the bid process. But until the project is actually in process, the contractors on site, the engineering will not be working because there will be no inspections, there'll be no meetings until the contractor's actually working. So I would like to say the amendment was, pending the state of Louisiana's contribution. I think it's very important that we not bid the project until we get their contribution. But we need to go ahead and allow the engineers to begin preparing the bid documents. So the bid documents are ready and we won't have that delay. So that as soon as we get their appropriation, we're ready to bid it. So if we could, the amendment's fine. We will not bid it until we get their contribution, but we do want to go ahead and allow the preparation of bid documents immediately.
We have to pay them, correct, to do that?
The bid documents, and we will bid out of the funds we have before they sunset. We don't want them to sunset, and we haven't gotten the bid documents done.
I'm confused because I thought the cost of the lighting the bridge, we received 500,000. We were asking Louisiana for 500,000.
And they did not come through, so we went to the state of Mississippi for another 500,000, which we received. So we have received, we have committed from the state of Mississippi to date $1 million for the
So we're gonna
project.
light the Louisiana side of the bridge as well.
Well, we are waiting on, we have asked for 250,000 from them, and they said that it's forthcoming. You don't always get everything you ask for, but it's, I think, important to our city, and especially the commitments we've made in getting these funds from our state government, that we move forward with the project.
Mr. Mayor.
And I want to reiterate these are funds appropriated to us, not city funds, not funds from our local budget. Yes, Alderman Fraser.
Mr. Mayor, you're very honorable, but
thank you. I agree with that for you.
I would just like to say, that we don't, on contingency, we're making all these motions, doing all this, and we don't have the money right then and there. We just, what I would say, just waiting for somebody else to do something, and we're stuck with, we're gonna pay $69,000. We don't know when Louisiana's gonna give us the money. You're trying to do
Alderman
the
Fraser,
best.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but we have that money in the bank right now.
We do have.
And if we don't spend it, we will have to send it back to
And
Jackson.
I believe we only have
They've
until
been
the end of
frustrated.
August to spend that before we have to return it.
Mr. Mayor.
Well, that makes it even more important that we get moving. Yes, Alderman Fraser.
Like I said, I understand what you're saying, but like I say, a lot of the stuff is that we're dependent on money that we don't have right in the hand. Like I say, your statement is that dependent on what the state gonna do, or what, like I said, it's a lot of that, but like I said, it's just confusing.
I understand. I do. Alderwoman Smith?
Is it clear, to clarify, the legislature has appropriated the money so that we can do it no matter what? If they want it done, it's
Well,
Mississippi River Bridge, they'd like to see it done.
They have definitely appropriated the money, and we have the money in the account now for this, and then the 500,000 we should have very soon. But we still need 250,000.
That's what I'm saying. We should have.
But for what we're voting on today, that money is in the bank.
It's in the bank.
It's right here in Natchez.
And if we don't use it now, we're gonna lose it.
We're gonna have to send it back to Jackson. And
But
then
none
that'll
of
be all
it's
the
tax
more
dollars,
money.
local tax dollars.
It's not local tax.
And I think
That's
that needs to
correct.
be identified to
All right.
the constituents, because we got a lot of calls pertaining to that.
We've been
We could
working,
do-
this is being
I'm working
entirely
up in
funded
Light Up Bridge.
by grants that we have gotten outside of Natchez. People get concerned about money we spend. I want to remind them that we have, over the last 5-6 years, we have received millions and millions of dollars in grant funds. And that's how we're getting so many things done. We're very grateful to all of our state and federal partners who have helped make that happen. The question has been called. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Okay, next item is Glenwood and Rollingwood drainage improvements, the state and tribal assistance grant through the U.S. Through EPA. Staff is requesting a motion to approve no-cost change order number 2 that incorporates federal supplemental assurances into the recently awarded construction contract to T.L. Wallace, including but not limited to domestic preferences for procurement, debarment and suspension, contract work hours and Safety Standards Act, procurement of recovered materials, etc. Noting that these assurances may already be referenced in the contract under 2 CFR 200, but not listed individually. Pleasure of the board.
And I will clarify, this is simply language that is being required by the EPA. They have very strict guidelines. They go over everything we submit with a fine-tooth comb. And this is something that we are doing because of a grant from the EPA. They're requiring that this language be added into our contract with T.L. Wallace. Motion has been made by Alderwoman Smith, seconded by Alderman Maroney. Discussion?
Is there a cost?
Yes? No, there's
Yeah,
no
that's what I was
cost.
gonna ask.
It's simply adding verbiage
Okay.
that the EPA has
No
required
cost.
after reviewing the contract paperwork that was submitted for their approval. So we'll now call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Okay.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you. I have one more item.
Oh, you have one more
Yes.
item. I didn't see it on here. Okay.
It's the memorandum of agreement for the relocation of utilities at Hiram Revels Plaza.
Oh, yeah.
This agreement is with Entergy Mississippi, and this would be part of the fiscal year 24 HUD community project funding. On April 28th, staff brought to the board a request for a motion to approve the MOA between Entergy and the city of Natchez to relocate its utilities at Hiram Revels Plaza at a cost not to exceed $15,024.10. Because of the included time restriction of 60 days, Entergy reevaluated its cost for utility relocation. The new cost is $10,448.26. Staff is requesting a motion to enter into a new MOA with Entergy for utility relocation at the cost of $10,448.26.
So moved.
Okay. Motion made by Alderwoman Irving and seconded by Alderwoman Hall. And the good news about this is it's actually less than it was before. The other good news is this is all being paid out of the grant funding. So I think it's important to say 100% of the items we discussed on the report, every project, every expenditure is coming from funding we've obtained from federal and state appropriations and grants. I think that is evidence that we are doing a lot of good in Natchez without having to pull it out of the pockets of our local taxpayers. We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Good job. We now will invite Greg Brooking to come and make a presentation.
I'll do my best not to be quick. I've come here to ask y'all to accept a quote for our carts. After Mr. Lazarus, of course, has looked at the contract, with his acceptance of it. I wanted to first show y'all what type of income we bring in from the golf carts. Okay? Far more than we spend on the golf carts. Last year we brought in, sorry, my glasses, who can read it? 227,000. Okay, and we spent $40,000 on leasing the carts. I've got here the specifications that we require of the carts. These are the sole source for this company. We actually have our quote from the Yamaha Corporation. They actually build the carts, and they're doing it. We've been doing business with them now for 8 years. We've had our carts. We've gone from 68. We've had these carts now for 4.5 years. Okay, for 4.5 years, we've been paying $68 a month. They'll be brand new carts, and they'll be charging us $77.75 a cart. So they are going to go up 13%, but I've been to the grocery store to buy milk, and in 5 years, my milk's gone from $2.50 to $5. So I think that's reasonable what they up their charges, essentially, for our brand new carts. I'm asking that we can get a new range cart. We've had our range cart now for 22 years. We kept it running. It's still running. Will it continue to run? I can't answer that. But anyway, I've asked that we get a new range cart. Okay, it's $255 a month. And the other bid is simply for the cart that I ride in. It's $180 a month. I'm asking that we up our carts from 50 carts, which we've been having for the past 20 years, to 55 carts because we have a tremendous increase in play. A lot of our tournaments now too, also, we have a lot more players in them. We are barely even making it with our carts for the golf tournaments that we're having. So those are the things I'm asking. I'm asking y'all to simply accept the quote and allow Mr. Lazarus to look over the contract that they sent. It's a sole source and it is a state contract.
I got a question.
All right. I'm sorry, I have to recognize a motion first. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Maroney, seconded by Alderwoman Smith. Alderman Frazier, you're recognized.
You said that the carts that we got now been out there for 4 years.
We have 4.5 years now.
4.5 years. So you're requesting 55 new carts.
Yes, sir.
A 4-year lease. Could you have got a 2-year lease? You're talking about a 4-year lease that that you're requesting for. And I don't think that we should go with a 4-year lease because some of us might not be in office, so you should have a 2-year lease. I don't see why we couldn't get a 2-year lease, like 55 new carts and 1 range cart. Now, also, you're requesting 1 new range cart. What is the purpose of that range cart?
So if you look at the income that we generate from range balls, it's significant. We spend about $4,000 maximum on range balls, and we bring in probably $45,000 to $50,000 on range balls. It is the cart that's specially enclosed in a cage. So it's got a cage around it.
I understand about carts.
Well, this is a range cart.
Listen to this though. You want a range cart with let down windows, air conditioning?
No, sir.
You know air conditioning?
No, sir.
Okay. You want with running lights on top of it?
Yes, sir.
What you need running lights for? Golf cart ain't open at night.
I know, but we pick up the range balls oftentimes at night and early in the morning. We do both.
To me, this range cart is just a luxury to be used for someone personally.
And I agree with you 100%. And all you have to do is say, let's pull the range cart out of this.
Let's pull the range cart out.
And then see if they go along with that. Before it goes along with it.
I'm talking, Sarah. No, I'm talking. You got
Alderman Frazier, you still have the floor. Alderman Frazier, you still have the floor.
That's why I'm saying this mic about to come. Like I say, this range cart, like I say, you say it's gonna be used for pulling other carts?
No, sir, for picking up the range balls. Simply for picking the range up.
Why you can't do it in a regular cart?
It doesn't have an enclosure that protects the individual that's driving the cart from range balls hitting it. We often pick up range balls while people are still hitting balls. We run out often.
Man, I just can't. Go on.
Yes,
Y'all-
Alderwoman Smith, you're recognized.
This is one instance where the revenue far exceeds the expenditure. He said that 227,000 in revenue, spent 44,000. A 4-year lease, I'm assuming, is going to be much cheaper than a 2-year lease. I mean, that makes perfect sense because they last that long and before you need to replace them. So I think this is a good deal. The range cart, my son plays golf all the time. You have to have those. You need to be protected from the balls when you're doing it during the day, and then the lights help for doing it at night so you're more efficient and making more revenue because you're getting more golfers there to use the course.
Our range cart is 20 years old.
Okay. Alderwoman Hall?
What is the purpose of the superintendent's cart?
That's the same.
It has lights on it when I come out there at night. It has lights on it. They put lights on it. That's the total
The
difference.
same as
that
the
cart.
range cart?
Same as the cart. We actually,
Is it the same as the range carts?
oh, no. It
That's
has
what I'm
lights.
asking. What's the purpose of the superintendent's cart?
It has light. It simply has lights on it. They're charging $180 a month for it. Yeah. It's used, we actually rent them out. We rent it out. If we run, 54 cars, it's one of the 55 cars. Well, I take it back.
No,
It's
it's
not one of
not.
50.
It's
Yeah,
additional
it's separate. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
So
asking.
if we run out of carts, we use that cart and rent it out still. Okay. But it's a cart that I use at night if I come out there to water the greens.
Oh.
I guess
Yes, Alderwoman Hall,
you
you still
can't
have.
use a regular cart.
I could.
And it also says you want it preferably road legal.
Mhm.
So why would you need to take it off the course?
I very seldom do. I don't. But I do, that's one of the requirements. That's what my last cart was. The same exact thing. I asked simply for the exact same type of cart that I already have. And I'm more than amicable to, if you want to pull those out, we will fight that battle with that 20-year-old range cart. We'll continue to fight the battle with it. Okay. We're really good at it. We have pieces of equipment that are from 1992 that we've maintained and kept riding. We have done an excellent job at trying to keep the cost down to the city on all our equipment.
I'm only asking the purpose of the superintendent's.
Yeah,
cart.
and that for me-
Don't get offensive. I'm asking you a legitimate
Right.
question.
Yeah. And I use it at night. And that's for use at night.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Madam Clerk?
I think it's important to note that this is not asking for any equipment that is not already in use at the golf course, with the exception of adding 5 additional golf carts for the rental. The other, it's replacing existing equipment through a lease, with those leases, being up. So.
All right, thank you.
Mayor,
Yes, Alderman Frazier?
we don't have a problem with the carts, the regular carts. But we do have a problem with the other amenities on these other carts. That's what we're talking about.
And I'm just noting
You
that
want to use a cart to go off the road and with night lights and all that kind of stuff. It seemed to me that it's gonna be used more than just the golf course.
And I'm sorry, but Mr. Burking, am I correct that these are spec'd the same way that the existing carts out there are spec'd?
Exact same. There's no change whatsoever in the way these are done. And I'm more than amicable to riding a regular golf cart. Okay, you can X that off the thing if you want to. If you want to, that's fine. At night, I'll bring a flashlight out there with me.
Mr. Mayor,
Quit saying
there are safety
Yes,
issues too. This is nickel and diamond somebody that's making money for the city, and there are safety issues. We like our equipment safe for all of our employees, including you and the people that work for you.
We have so many
Man, let me address that right quick.
We
Let me address
have
that.
so many citizens that utilize this course.
Yes,
And
ma'am,
it
I
is
understand what she's
it's a
saying.
great public service to all of our citizens. I think we need to move along because we have other items. But I will, Alderman Frazier, certainly.
Mr. Mayor, I understand what she's saying, but I don't think she played golf. So, you're talking about a safety issue. I used to caddy, but like say, I'm just simply saying, one of these cars is, you don't need. And that's the card where you're gonna have the let down windows, the night lights and all that kind of stuff. Like I say, this is nitpicking. That's correct. But like I say, it's money being spent on these cars.
And I'm more than amicable to
Thank
say, let's X the cart. If it even causes any bone of contention whatsoever with the Board of Aldermen.
I'm going to move now to Alderwoman Hall.
We want safety for everybody. That's number one. We're
That's
not
right.
negating your safety.
No.
My question, and I think you took offense to it, was why does the superintendent need a separate cart from the other carts? Preferably road legal, where the other carts are not road legal.
All right.
And that's a legitimate question. Why would you need a separate cart? With a fold-down windshield, which must have a fold-down windshield.
Yeah.
So that is my question, where the
all-
others do not.
All of the carts have fold-down windshields. All the carts, so that's not, mine has lights on it. That is the main difference in my golf cart. And it's a mess. I paint the golf course in that golf cart. And so it's a mess.
And I guess the perception is if it's road legal, that means you will take it off the site.
No.
So that's
No.
why I'm asking this question. Which are legitimate.
We do have roads.
We have roads in the
Al-
park.
Alderman Maroney.
All the carts have roads.
I don't,
Roads.
to be honest, I don't see a problem with any of this. I don't really understand what the hangup is. We're replacing equipment. We're just replacing existing equipment with new models that do the same thing. I think it's great that Greg goes out there and works at night and has a cart that he can do that with. It's kind of a utility. It's still a regular cart that they can rent if they need to, but it's kind of his cart that he uses to work the golf course. He goes out there at night. He does, he's working out of this cart. So it's a little bit different than the others. The range cart, my gosh, I can't believe y'all are working on, did you say 20 or 22 years?
20 years old. We kept it running.
20-year-old range cart. I don't play golf anymore. I did as a kid. And, that's a special cart. And when you're, as a kid, you're out there hitting range balls and that range cart's out there, man, you're not doing anything but trying to hit that guy in that range cart. And so, yeah, it's a special device. And if they've made do for 20 years on this thing, I think it's time to replace that unit. That thing's important. It generates a lot of income for that golf course. And it is a very, very small item in relation to the revenue that it helps them generate out there with range balls. And it's important that thing work, because if it's not working, all the range balls get hit. They can't pick them up and sell more range balls. They've got to be able to pick those things up quickly to keep stock of range balls, or they're all laying out there on the ground and they can't sell anymore. So they've got to be able to pick those things up reliably. So I really think that after all of this, I really think we need to just approve this and move on.
Okay.
It just makes sense.
Okay, the question has been called. We will proceed to the vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
Okay, Mr. Lazarus, they'll be sending you a contract to look over?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Y'all.
Mr. Brook, and we appreciate the work you do.
Oh, I got to have plenty more.
We next have Ms. Carla Monroe with our senior center. Ms. Monroe, you're recognized.
Good afternoon to you, Mayor and Board of Aldermen and Alderwomen.
Good afternoon.
Today, I'm here to request permission for myself as well as Mr. Roy Hill to attend the Mississippi Public Transit Association and Company 24th Annual Leadership Conference that will be held at the Medical Mall in Jackson, Mississippi on August the 11th through the 14th.
So moved.
Okay, motion has been made by Alderwoman Hall, seconded by Alderwoman Irving. Discussion. We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
Thank you all so much. I also want to take an opportunity just to say thank you to the mayor and board for, as well as Mr. Rudder for getting our elevator fixed at the Natchez Senior Center. So thank you all so much.
Very grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Monroe. Thank you. The next item, Mr. Perrault, we're going to ask you to wait until later in the meeting. We have an executive session, and we will bring this up afterwards. All right, yes, we're just going to wait on your report until after the executive session. City official reports, Alderwoman Hall.
Yes, sir. My first two items were already covered by Claudia Burns, with the grants. I would like to thank Mr. Dollar for the maintenance at the Woodlawn Historic District site. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate it very much. Sergeant Kelly and Ms. Easdale have requested that any code enforcement reporting be done on the portal, not through phone calls or visits to the office. It is a very simple procedure. You go to the city website and go down to where it says reporting concerns, click that on, and you will see different departments. Click on code enforcement. You put out all your information there. Submit it, it goes straight to Sergeant Kelly. It's an outstanding organized procedure and very efficient. I want to thank Sergeant Kelly for the work she's also doing as our supervisor of code enforcement. Mr. Mayor, now that we are at the abatement process for the Fry building, can you give us an update on the progress of the EOLA and where we're standing with that?
The EOLA is going very well. And the developer is wanting to share information himself. And I've been asked to just report that it's going very well. I will just say this, I have never felt better about this project. In fact, I addressed a few groups here in town recently and said, I'm willing to make a $1,000 wager with you. And I said, be careful, because you realize I know more than you do.
Well, that's why we're asking for information.
But as with all economic development projects, we have to respect the developers. And we can't get out in front of our developers. I have not done that yet on any of our economic development projects. I'm not going to do that on this one. But we all know that in working on economic development projects, we can have these discussions. There are confidential discussions that are had with all economic development projects. I wish I could say more publicly, but I can't jeopardize a project. We've all been privy to meetings where certain things that are confidential are shared. We've had executive sessions on that. And I've had private conversations with aldermen when asked, and you and I have had recent private conversations on this, Alderwoman Hall. So I will have to let that be my answer. I'm sorry.
Mr. Mayor, the reason I bring that up is because we've been blocked in the past from going after the owner for this unsafe building. And we need to know, is there progress being made on the reconstruction of this building? Because I'm at a point again of going after this owner for an unsafe structure.
As I have told you, there is a different owner. I can't say anymore. But I know this, we've worked too hard to get here, and I'm not about to derail it. The EOLA is going to happen, and when it does, it will be a wonderful victory, just as we celebrated a couple of weeks ago with our airport, just as we celebrated with Tracetown, just as we will one day celebrate north of Walmart, just as we will one day celebrate with our dock project under the hill. Success is wonderful, but sometimes it takes time. And I've shared before and I'll share now, the hardest part of my job is having to keep quiet about certain things until they're ready to be shared. Alderwoman Hall.
I would like to continue
Thank
with my
you.
report.
Yes, you are recognized.
I want to thank the Episcopal Church, the local church here and their diocese this weekend for July 10th. Bishop Dorothy Sanders was here, who's the first woman and first Black woman or Black to serve as leader of the Episcopal Diocese in Mississippi. She gave an outstanding and a powerful workshop Saturday on Black, white, together, and the church. Not only the Episcopal Church, but the collective Christian church regarding race relations. A very, very powerful weekend. We started Friday at Zion Chapel with Jamal McCullen reenacting a speech by Highland Rebels, and concluding Sunday at Forks of the Road with Bishop Sanders laying a wreath at the Forks of the Road, and then a presentation inside what is now Freedom Hall, which the Park Service owns. It was the former Jehovah's Witnesses Church. They did consent to finally selling that property to the Park Service because it does, it was originally part of Forks of the Road. So now it goes back to its home. So I want to thank them for that, for this powerful weekend. I think that concludes my report at this time. Yes, sir, it does. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman Hall. Alderman Frazier, you're recognized.
It's going to be very short. First, I would like to, again, thank the NAACP for showing their concerns in dealing with the Natchez Youth Center and other issues that arise in the community. So I want to thank y'all for coming. Last but not least, I want to, as a chairperson of the fire department, I want to thank the Natchez Fire Department for an excellent job that they did in dealing with this major fire that we had in
You mean
Natchez.
on behalf of the chairperson, Alderman
Yeah,
Davis is the chairperson?
Yeah, all the members. They did an excellent job, and they was very professional, and the community came together as one. And Emerge Cross, I want to thank the local peoples across I thank some of the members from the fire department from the day you came. That just goes to show you, we as a community on both sides of the bridge, we can work together. And everyone showed up and was concerned about the old Sears building. The old Sears building been there quite a while, and you know, a lot of people was calling me with other concerns. They was like, "What do you think happened?" I said, "I don't know. You think somebody burned down?" I said, "I'm not finna get into that." But that's another issue. But like again, I want to thank them, Chief Arrington. Your department did an excellent job in putting out that fire. They basically saved most all of downtown. If it had spread a little further, we'd have had one major problem in fighting that fire, especially those buildings been up there hundreds of years or more. So again, thank you, and thank the surrounding community for their participation. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, Alderman Frazier. Alderwoman Smith?
Yes, I am going to say a little bit about that because I was there not the whole time, but for a large part, most all of it. And you saw the community come together and in times of need when like that, and then have Medallia. When we have emergency situation, there's going to be time. They didn't think twice about paying. I know they had to pay those guys to come over here and do that work and work there. And I appreciate Medallia, the mayor over there. He didn't think twice about it, did he? When
No,
he
he
made that
didn't.
call. And, you know, but the restaurants that lost a little revenue that day to bring pizzas and Taco Bell. I mean, it was just, you'll have to help me remember. So you might even have it. If you have a list, I'll just
I
stop.
don't have the list with
Well, we
me.
had Taco Bell, we had Popeyes, we had Natchezian, we had Joseph Smith brought from his restaurant.
We had Gomart,
And Gomart.
Wardo's,
And Pig Out.
Big
and
Al,
Wardo's.
and also
Darby.
Cash Savers.
Cash Saver.
Darby, we had individuals bringing things.
Individuals.
Popeyes.
Yep, so I mentioned Popeyes.
Yeah.
So
It
it's just amazing.
Went on and on.
There were some other firefighters, not our own, said that, wow, we've never seen this before. They were pretty impressed with that. But anyway, I think our own chief was out there working himself. He didn't stand around giving orders. He was out there in the middle of everything too, as well as being a good leader to our group. And our police chief was there, and the police department was amazing. And there were extra people there. We've had a lot of situations lately where we've had to have more people than normal, where I'm sure there's going to be some overtime, but this is when this is what we have to do as a community to keep everyone safety. Safety, fire department and police department safety are some of the most important things that we provide for our citizens. And I thought the fire chief, you might want to say something about your group, your guys. You're welcome to come up now.
Yes, good idea.
I'd love to hear your perspective on it all, and thank y'all for all the work that you did.
Thank y'all for recognizing the work that we were able to do. The team worked really, really hard. It was hot out there. That was a really hot fire. So we were blessed that things turned out the way that they did. I think that was the best outcome that we could have gotten. Is what happened. Big thank you, Fidelia, sending that ladder truck. They really helped us get some stuff done that we really needed to get done. AMR, Natchez PD, Natchez Sheriff's Department for bringing out the drones. The community came out in full support. I mean, it was awesome to see so many people. It was more ladies shoving water, shoving water in my hands than I can imagine. So, I mean, thank you. It was great to see the community come out the way that they did, and we really appreciate it. We really needed it. Chief Best came and brought his drone for me. It's good to have these community relationships where, one phone call and everybody starts showing up. So I made a few calls, and a few minutes later, it was like, okay, we on the way. We got this coming and that coming. And, it's great to have that, especially Vidalia, Mayor Kraft, and Vidalia Fire Department, bringing people and that equipment like that. That was really helpful.
Thank you.
And
Chief.
Concordia
Real quick.
Concordia Parish, the fire department.
Yes, Concordia
Adams
District
County,
sent people.
down from
Sheriff Hedrick sent a drone operator. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, everybody came out to support us.
Volunteer fire department came too.
They did.
Yes, our Adams County volunteers showed up, brought their new truck.
They did.
Beautiful to see the two Rosenbauer sitting together. Yes,
Alderman
ma'am.
Irving.
I was just gonna ask, you said they brought the ladder truck. Who did, Vidalia or?
Vidalia, City of Vidalia Fire Department brought their
And-
twin ladder truck to our ladder
Oh, so you
truck.
had more than one ladder?
Yes,
truck.
ma'am.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm gonna just finish
And
real
that's
quick.
great.
Y'all,
Yes,
my
I
report,
was,
but just, you could see the strategy. I mean, I'm a layperson, but I could even see how y'all were pushing it toward that corner. I mean, it was away from both sides of that building. It's still, the ladder truck was on one side of Main, on the left side of the building, and then of course our ladder truck was on the back side.
It was beautiful.
It was,
The way they
and it worked, and I'm just very, very proud. And it just shows me that working together is what it's all about.
Yes,
We need to
ma'am.
all do
Yes,
that.
ma'am.
And as a board, we need to do that. As a community, we need to do that. And because working together is what makes it happen.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you very
I got a
much.
chance to talk with at least the initial group that started the fire Saturday, whatever day it was. I got a chance to talk with that team this morning.
That's you said started the fire. You may want to correct that.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. The team that was there initially
That started fighting the fire.
because it happened over 2 shifts. So I was able to talk with the team that was initially there this morning. I expressed my gratitude because they worked really, really hard. They did a great job. They did a great job. They followed orders. They did what I asked them to do, even though they were hot and tired. So I'm proud of them and what they were able to accomplish.
And no injuries or fatalities.
And we had some
No
women
injuries, nobody
firefighters.
hurt.
We sure did.
See, we had some women firefighters. Give a shout out to them too.
Hey, my ladies, she gonna kill me. I call one of them. I call her Tinkerbell. She was there the whole time. She worked her butt off with just not a thought about it. I don't have female firefighters. I just have firefighters. They are awesome. They are
wonderful. I want to say, Chief, I was so impressed. When I first found out, Marla heard me on the phone and I was about to leave the house. I went in to tell her goodbye. She was already on her knees praying, and I was on my knees with her as soon as I saw her. And our prayers were answered. What your men did and women to address the building behind the building, the way they attacked that and kept that fire from spreading and kept water going. I also want to say we always hear those who have their opinions and rumors. I heard rumors yesterday. People who weren't even there saying, "Oh, they should have done this, should have done that." I want you to know, Alderman Smith beat me there. She was there earlier than me, and then I was there, and we were there for hours watching this. It could not have been handled more professionally. And I've got to say too, when you asked me to call Mayor Kraft, I called him. He did not hesitate. Our police escorted their ladder truck coming the wrong way up Main Street to get it there. And that was some impressive collaboration to watch. I will forever be grateful because, as Alderman Frazier said, we could have lost the whole block. And that is true, but we didn't. Alderman Smith, you were a great help.
Good.
And thank you.
Yeah, Alderwoman Smith helped me out a bunch of times while we was out there, so thank you.
Thank you. Alderwoman Irving, you're recognized.
Well, I just want to say thank God there were no injuries or fatalities, none whatsoever.
Amen.
Yeah. And I did come up, but the county had the street blocked off, so I didn't get out to walk up. But it was blocked around. The entire block was there. I had to go back around to get where I actually needed to go. But I did come through to see, and I thought so. Like, you all were working together, and that's what it takes, teamwork. Yes. Okay, I'm going to begin my report. I want to begin by asking our heroes. I want to begin by asking our city clerk, did we receive the request for reallocation for the Boys and Girls Club funding for our new budget year?
I did receive a
Okay, all right.
request from
Just want to make sure we had that. I also want to inquire, I had made a motion about our budget scheduling work sessions.
When we returned from MML, I did have the documents from the county so that I can figure some assessed valuations. There were some reports missing. A couple of them, I didn't have the full report as of this morning, have all of those. So I'm working to get together kind of an idea of what our revenues are going to look like so that we can start having those meetings and y'all have something reasonable to work with as far as what our expenditures can be. So I'm just not quite there yet to get those scheduled and get a calendar put together for that.
Okay. So we're
But as
expecting.
soon as I can, I will get that out to everybody. We're just not quite there.
Okay, because I mean, it's August and we just got 8 weeks. We were actually looking at, probably
Yeah,
8
it's
to 10
July. We
weeks.
have
So we
2
got,
months.
okay.
We're good.
Correct.
All right. So the next thing I want to mention is that Ward 4 St. Catherine Street Area Neighborhood Watch meeting will take place at Murray Temple Church of God, 5 Peralta Street, Natchez, Mississippi, on Monday, July 20th at 6 p.m. Our special guest will be our Natchez Police Chief, Lee Best. He normally brings his staff, Commander Daltrey and Commander Fleming. And we will have other guests coming in to speak to them as well, but I only place you out there. So we do have a flyer. So I'm going to take this and put in the tracings. Their tracing component of the paper is not working, so you have to physically take it there. And so I am going to drop this by the Natchez Democrat today so that it would be a part of the tracings as well. So we look forward to that. Also, I have a Monteville Jubilee flyer. And again, this year's our 36th annual Monteville Jubilee. And one of our features will be the Amos Polk and Alvin Shelby Gospel Hour. We're adding him to our Gospel Hour. It's pretty exciting because they're the founders of the actual Gospel Hour. And so we are really wanting to invite everyone out, the public that's here today, surrounding churches, and you'll be getting that information in the mail this weekend, inviting as many members of the community to come out and enjoy our gospel hour at the Montevideo Jubilee. The event begins at 9:30 a.m. It begins with a Freedom March at the corner of Minor Street down Mountain Street and Dr. Martin Luther King down to Macedonia Baptist Church. The gospel hour, the Amos Polk and Avon Shelby gospel hour will begin at 10 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. Community activities will begin at 12 to 8 p.m. The mayor will do the welcome once we get down to the lot. Again, we're asking all board members, if you're available, to come out and enjoy the festivities for the day. We have education component, health component, face painting, voter registration, cakewalk, space jump. We're also recognizing Natchez High basketball team. This is a part of our mission of our 501c3, so that we can continue to give back as best we possibly can, because recognizing Natchez High basketball team, Faraday High basketball team bring people together and show our community pride, and shows our community pride. And so we do have a band coming this year. It's Bass Rhythm and Grooves. They're going to begin at 5:30 and they will close us out. We have partners for AJFC, the Natchez Visit, AJFC, MAP, and Natchez Coalition 100 Black Women organizations that will be there. Again, this is Saturday, July 25th. I do have flyers. I will pass this along as well. Okay, and our theme this year is Unity in Purpose. I want to speak on code enforcement. I'm hearing you loud and clear that we need to use the portal, and we've had that directive for a while. But what makes it not a total success is that everyone doesn't have the capabilities to do the technology. They don't have access to that. And so I believe what's most importantly is that the information is making you aware that these properties are out here. You have to call and report them in. As you see, it's so many. It's so many. And I know it's a slow progress. But what I want to see in this upcoming budget year, that we plan so that we can have a successful code enforcement team, that we plan. And we're going to need resources to do that, because what we have now, it's working, but we have a broke system. We have a broke system. We need more personnel in that department. We need the equipment that they need as well. And what I mean by that, to do the work. I know we're getting our inmates to come and help with the grass cutting on weekends, that Saturday out the month. But we have one former employee with the Natchez Public Works, Mr. Kenny Jackson, has called. He's reached out and said if he could assist the city in any way with the grass cutting, that's something we can consider. He does have CDL. He knows how to work all the equipment. So it will be a great asset to, let's consider him as to become gainfully employed with the city again. I think that's all. No, thank you, NAACP, for coming. Can't get my words out today, but thank you all for coming, because as I stated earlier, July 4th, it was a bloody weekend for the city of Natchez. But I have received a lot of calls, and the concern was, where's the conversation? When are we going to come together so that we could address the needs? And it's not just with that tragedy that has taken place. We're going to find that once you all begin this committee, forming the committee, you're going to be addressing a lot of other issues that cause those things, such as mental illness. A lot is going to come out of this. So I just want to thank you all for coming together, because that's a conversation that needs to be had. Those are issues that plague our community, and so they need to be addressed. Boys and Girls Club is one way, and it takes a lot of different entities to come together to make it a success for the entire city. So I just want to thank you all for coming and presenting that information.
And that ends my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Alderwoman Irving.
Thank you.
Alderman Maroney?
Briefly, there's been a lot of talk and a lot of thanks to all the people involved with fighting that fire on Sunday. There's one I think we left out. Robert, did y'all have any problem with water? We forget about waterworks. They fought that fire all day, pumping water out of those hydrants, and no one has said a word about waterworks. And we never lost water. And I think they are to be commended.
And I was
Good.
on the phone with Jeff Ganberry during the
Good. I think it's
very
great.
successful water pressure testing, fire department, going through our whole city, checking hydrants. And you're exactly
That's
right.
so
We didn't have
important
any water
that
pressure.
those, I talk all the time about the various components of running a city, running a municipality, and the things that we need to focus on. We talk a lot about a lot of things, but when it gets down to it, infrastructure, public safety, police, fire, public works, streets, water, those things have all got to be taken care of before we do all the other stuff. Recreation's great. I'm all about recreation and economic development and everything else. But it is so important that we focus on those basic fundamentals of city government and city management. And it's keeping that infrastructure that makes us a city, keeping all those things viable and working. Those are more important than anything else, because without those, it all falls apart.
Yes.
Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Alderman. We now move to our city clerk. Madam Clerk, your report.
All right, first item is a request for approval of the 1st July 2026 claims docket.
What's the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Maroney. Discussion?
Yes, I did.
Yes, Alderwoman Irving.
If I can't find it, I can get with her. Yes, page 10, and I know this is in the police department, but the J&J carpet, where is carpet going in our police department? Where is it at?
There was a recent flood in that building, and we had some replacement that had to be done out there. It was extensive flooding from a bathroom.
Okay.
So I'm not sure exactly which office or multiple offices and spaces that had to be replaced.
Okay. And that's all that I have.
Okay. We will call for the question.
Oh.
We'll proceed to the vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is a request for approval of the 1st July 2026 mini claims docket.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Irving.
Mhm.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderwoman Smith. Discussion? We'll call for the question.
Oh.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item.
Next item is a request for approval of the June 2026 personnel report. There was an updated report left on your respective desks prior to the meeting to replace the one that was in your packet. I believe there was a correction to a resigned versus terminated for one of the employees.
Was that the very last one on the original one that we had?
Yes.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
he-
So it's
They
resigned.
resigned.
Okay,
They were not terminated.
okay.
Thank you.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall. Seconded by
Second.
Alderwoman Smith. Discussion? We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item.
Okay, next item is a request for approval of travel for the municipal court clerk, Charlene Green, to attend the 2026 municipal court clerk training course, which is sponsored by the Mississippi Judicial College. It'll be held in Biloxi, September 15th through the 17th, 2026.
So moved.
So move.
Motion made by Alderwoman Irving, seconded by Alderwoman Hall. We'll have discussion. We'll call for the question. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
Final item is a request for approval of the renewal of the city's premium saver policy with AmFirst Insurance Company. This is our gap insurance for the fiscal year 2026, 2027 year. There is yet again another year with no rate increase. So for that, I am thankful.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you. That really is amazing. We'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Maroney, seconded by Alderwoman Irving. Discussion? Yes, Alderwoman Irving.
So what about our supplemental?
This is the only renewal I have received to date.
Okay, and this will be for those dates that we were given in the email that's coming up, 28?
This is the gap policy that goes along with our Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so this will be for the upcoming fiscal year.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
It helps us keep that deductible low.
Mm-hmm.
We'll call for the question. We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next, we have the city attorney's report.
Very briefly, Mr. Mayor, we have a new licensing agreement for the Natchez Balloon Festival, same as last year. No changes except the date. We're asking the board for approval for the mayor and city clerk to sign off.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderwoman Hall, seconded by Alderwoman Irving. Discussion?
I did. I had something
Yes.
noted on it. I guess I was asking what would be the cost of the vendors? And because I've seen that in previous, you said it was the very same, but looked like we've seen a cost of what it would be for the vendors for those that would be, because it's open to the public, or do they do that on a separate? It looked like I can recall something like $600, and this is.
I can speak to
Sure,
that.
okay.
The Balloon Festival licenses with those vendors, and those vendors pay the Balloon Festival people a fixed rate. I believe it is 500. It
Okay.
might be, it may have gone up to 600, but
Okay.
I believe it's 500.
Okay, I just wanted to, that wasn't included in there, and that was just for the public, because you still have new vendors that are here that are not aware of that fee and not having
Yeah,
it
and
there.
they've got a set bunch of vendors that they've used year after year, and I think it's as long as those folks want to come back, they have those slots kind of reserved,
Mhm.
and I think that's generally what they get. I think we had one new one last year. It was very good, by the way. So
We did.
I hope they're back. Anyway, yeah, that's how that's done. It's all
Okay.
done through the festival.
Any further questions? All right, we will now call for the question.
Call.
We'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
That concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. I need to address just a few issues. Number one, people are asking, when will Main Street be reopened in the 500 block? We are working to accomplish that as soon as possible. However, we are in communication with the owners of Delta Fuel. We're in communication with engineers and architects, including Mr. Waycaster and also Mr. Ryan Holmes, a structural engineer that Waycaster Dungan has recommended. We hope to have some answers very soon as to when Main Street can be reopened and what the future of what remains of the building will be. Obviously, there are decisions to be made, and once those decisions are made, including decisions made by Delta Fuel regarding their future plans, we will share those. I will say we've been in constant communication with Adam Vegas, the CEO of Delta Fuel, since early Sunday morning. Throughout Sunday evening, yesterday, last night, early this morning. We've actually spoken twice this morning. We are so grateful to Delta Fuel and the 50 employees that were housed there. And we are grateful that they remain committed to Natchez. And as I have told Mr. Vegas, we remain committed to them. We are hopeful that they will have a temporary location very soon and that they will have plans for their permanent location be it at that location or another soon. We'll share more when we know more. I do want everyone to understand the reason this street is closed is until it can be determined, we have to make sure our citizens are safe. And the sidewalk is open on the south side, so those businesses are accessible. But until we are told we can reopen that block, it remains closed. I want to thank Entergy for very quickly, a very expensive and very involved procedure yesterday and yesterday evening of replacing a transformer that was in the ground of Locust Alley. And that project, including the use of a specialized crew and large crane, is complete, and those customers should be restored to power. I have to say we did have a great 4th of July celebration, and I have to give thanks to Sarah Lindsay Lockoff, to Debbie Hudson Germany, and also to Ryan Porter and our staff at our Department of Parks and Recreation, Dylan Butler. It was a fantastic weekend. It was well attended. The music, the fireworks, thank you, Sabrina Dore. And it was so great also to be there for our parade. A parade led by a fantastic jazz ensemble, and also our Grand Marshal being Jack Kerwin. It was a fantastic experience that I shall never forget. All of those locals who participated in the parade and all the events, including our families, our children, color guard provided by our Coast Guard, something we haven't seen. And Richard Burke, I'm looking right at you. You did a lot behind the scenes to help in this. A lot of people wondered if we would be able to have a good 4th of July celebration. We had the best. And a special shout out to Visit Natchez for being a sponsor of the event along with the city. That same weekend, celebrating flights coming into the airport, flights going out, a lot of great energy. And then we had crime. While we had thousands of people on our bluff without incident, we had crime. I want to thank our police department. Their expertise in getting on that situation and solving everything quickly, making arrests, amazing. Also, working in concert with the sheriff's office on issues we were experiencing in the county, excellent. We have the best collaboration going between our sheriff, our police department than I've seen in a long time. And we also see individuals in uniform who are working long hours, regardless of the late hour or the early hour, to keep us safe. I want to give a shout out to Harps and to all who are in leadership in that company and what they've done to get everything normalized and back in operation at Southside. Going forward, I just stand on my statement that I made that night. It is time for us, all of us, to get really serious about making sure not only that violent crime is prosecuted, but also that those who commit it, that the punishment meets the crime, and that they aren't turned back out into society to become, dangerous. We also, I agree with you, Alderwoman Irving, we've got to see more state resources put to mental health. Prisons are not equipped to take care of the mentally ill. And the state of Mississippi, in the time they say they have these surpluses, they're cutting taxes, yet they have cut so much funding for mental health, and that must change.
That must change.
That must change.
How do we address that, Mayor?
I'm doing the best I
As a
can.
board, send
It's,
letters, supporting the
send
community
letters.
to send letters.
State leadership and federal
Yes.
leadership, more
Yes.
is needed. I want to say this, some good news. I believe we have found a really great affordable solution for getting the Rotary Fountain going again on the bluff. Alderwoman Smith, I understand you're the incoming president of the Rotary Club. We have already talked, and I'll be getting with you more. We want the Rotary to be very involved in this very affordable repair that will get that fountain going again. Our Public Properties Committee had a meeting on this recently, among other things, and I know as chairman and also Rotarian, Alderman Maroney, you're committed to getting this done. I'm hopeful we can get it done by the fall, and I just wanted to share that. And the end result will actually be very, very close to what people see now, and it'll be good to see that going again. Also, I want to thank our Parks and Recreation Department again. They are working so hard. They have addressed, I wish we had time to show the pictures, but we don't, but they have addressed a lot of issues in our parks. And the condition of North Natchez Park, actually, I've seen some beautiful things taking place out there. Granted, we have more to do, and I'm very glad we approved that motion that the NAACP brought to us today, because definitely more remains to be done. But we are looking at a strategy to have water availability. We are also looking at a strategy to have our own a better schedule of being open. That has been a challenge because of individuals who vandalize them, who literally move into them and then have to be cleared out of them. It is a challenge, but we are doing our best to address it.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
also,
Alderwoman
we're adding
Hall.
more staff. We asked
Yes.
that we have more staff.
Yes, and I know that process is underway. I know it is. I also know that the process is underway to get the quotes necessary for resurfacing tennis courts at Duncan Park and also at North Natchez Park. We had discussion yesterday, waiting on some vendors, but that process is underway. I'm very insistent that we get the water fountains established, and I believe we have a strategy there that should be affordable, and hopefully we can present soon. Mr. Rudder, you're helping with that as well, and thank you. Shout out to the Boys and Girls Club. It was so great, Mr. West, to be there to address everyone at the ribbon cutting. I also have a letter of appreciation that I just saved. I wanted to pass it out personally at this meeting from Naomi Jackson, who is the president and CEO of Boys and Girls Club of Central Mississippi. I'm going to just share this. At a time when we need it most, we have it. And thank goodness we have it. And I'm so grateful to the city, to the county, to the school board, and I'm thankful to the leadership. And I also want to share this. A longtime friend of mine, Dirk Boyles, retired adjutant general from the state of Mississippi. You've all met him. He helped our city recover during COVID in a remarkable way, getting National Guard here when we were needing to get people vaccinated. Well, he serves on the board of directors for Boys and Girls Club of Central Mississippi. He wanted to be here at the ribbon cutting, but had a conflict. But he wanted me to share with everyone, and I did at the ribbon cutting, and I share now that he has no words for the organization that he serves with. Being a board member, he says he has seen more good come out of Central Mississippi Boys and Girls Club than he's seen from many organizations in his career. And he wanted me to offer his congratulations to the city, to the county, for the school board, for our community, for partnering with Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Mississippi. It is money well invested, and I pray that it will continue from year to year to year.
Yes.
We have executive session. Oh, before I say anything further, I want to extend my condolences to Alvin Shelby
Yes.
in the loss of his son.
Yes.
It has been a very sad time for Mr. Shelby and his family. And if we could all make sure that we keep that family in our prayers during this difficult time. We do have an executive session. We will have the closed determination here out in the open. And I'm going to ask a motion to go into closed determination. to discuss the need for an executive session. Motion made by Alderwoman Hall,
Second.
seconded by Alderwoman Irving. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carries. We will have this determination. We, in the open, we first need to discuss some human resource matters, actually personnel matters regarding the mayor's office, the city clerk's office, and our IT department, all within City Hall. Secondly, we have to have discussions relating to our police department. I believe those are the only topics we need for an executive session. Am I correct? Am I missing anything?
It all falls on personnel.
I don't believe that we'll discuss that when we come back. I don't believe that the contract, is the contract, can we discuss that? Because this is actually an existing, it's not a new contract, but it is a
There are some
contract.
issues that need to be addressed in executive session.
Can we discuss the AT&T phone contract in executive session today?
I don't think so. I think the contract must be discussed in open meeting.
Oh, okay.
It's not a negotiation of a contract. It's actually an existing contract that's been in existence for some time.
No, not the one he's talking about, the one we just got.
Well, that is something that we
can discuss. I'd be glad to discuss it openly. If you don't wanna
we
discuss
can
it.
certainly do it. We'll have that discussion when we come back. When we come back. I want to be very careful. We have to make sure we follow the law, the letter of the law. And
Well, all contracts have to be discussed out here, so.
And we can discuss negotiations of a contract in executive session, but existing contracts, we'll have that discussion a little later.
Contracts for the sale.
But we will have a personnel discussion.
Leasing of property contract or executive session.
Okay.
But existing contracts have to be discussed in open session.
All right.
Keyword is existing.
All right. Okay. I will now call for the motion to adjourn the closed determination. Motion has been made by Alderwoman Smith, seconded by Alderman Maroney. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carries. We are now back in regular session. I will entertain a motion to go into executive session for the reasons that we have just discussed.
So move.
Motion made by Alderwoman Irving,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Maroney. Discussion? We'll call for the question. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, motion carries. We will now go into executive session. We will come back with a report after that executive session. And if there's any further business that the board wishes to discuss, we'll discuss at that time. Our live feed will end now. We thank everyone.